awesome.
Don't knock over the
Yeah, how much fentanyl did Sage do?
I don't know. You can't do much because every time they seize something, they're like, there was enough fentanyl to kill 200 million people. It's like in a backpack.
That's all that drug they were doing that bullshit about. Where there was like this video where released by a police department, this cop like opening like a car trunk and there was like a tiny bag of fentanyl in there. He was like like a seizure and like fell on the ground. And, like the police were like, oh, he inhaled it, just a whiff of it, but it was enough to put him in medical shock, which is like complete bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it doesn't take much. That's why people overdose on it so often. But I haven't seen that video.
I mean,
you guys ever seen?
It's like a whole brick of cocaine to drive that bear crazy. You know?
That's true. You guys ever seen that video of that guy?
That'd be the scene.
You guys ever see the video of that journalist in Afghanistan where they like gathered up, the military had like seized a bunch of drugs or whatever, like massive amounts. It was like a big old pile, and then they were burning it. And the guy was sitting. The guy was sitting next to it. The guy was sitting next to it to report on. It's like behind me, they're burning a mixture of hashish, heroin, and like all this kind of, and then he just goes,
what the hell?
Because he's high as fuck, dude. He's sitting right next to a burning pile of like 12 different drugs.
Jesus Christ.
Just starts cracking up. That's a pretty funny video. You've seen that video, right, Sage, of that journalist in Afghanistan where they were like burning a ton of drugs that the military had seized? And then he just obviously gets high as shit and just starts laughing, and he can't even finish his news report.
It's not a very different sound from what Martin Sheen made in one of the Twilight movies that I've seen.
Yeah, wasn't that the one where he stood over a burn pit full of fentanyl?
Yes, that might as well have happened in the last one.
Ooh, that's just straight whiskey.
Ooh. Martin Sheen points at that dumb little resume girl or whatever, and he just says, "She has a tiny horse," and then he just starts making that same noise that Alex just Some of the most overacting I've seen Martin Sheen do. Or, am I saying Martin Sheen? Not Martin Sheen.
Well, yeah, what movie are you talking about? I'm sorry, I just came back.
Charlie Sheen?
No.
Not the Time Machine with, what's his fucking name?
Not the Tiger Blood dude, but I'm saying...
No, not Tiger Blood. That's Charlie. That's Charlie Sheen. No, Tiger King is that other guy. It's the Joe Exotic. No, goddamn it! You are jumping so many things. I'm talking about the movie from 2002, The Time Machine, with the actor that is in. No, goddamn it! The guy that is in. Guy Pearce. Yes. Guy Pearce.
Guy Fieri was in that?
No.
Remember? That's how he learned.
No, he's not.
Oh, that's right. And he's like, he was like, let's go back to Flavor Town in 2000 BC.
Dude, okay, if that was the plot, I would watch it.
He's like, Guy Fieri, that's a paradox. You constructed Flavor Town. Just like the pharaohs of old.
Flavor Town from the pharaohs of old.
He goes back and there are slaves building like a giant diner. They built the
That's actually amazing.
It's like, we are here in ancient Mesopotamia on diners driving by.
He's like, I don't recommend the food.
Just so everyone knows, this is before chili cheese was invented.
That's why everybody's got to shit fast.
What?
Sonic. Dude, you'd run that fast if you ate that many chili dogs.
I thought you said that's why everyone's got to shift ass.
No, that's the next Fast and Furious movie.
A shift ass.
Have you saw that poster, right, with him fucking with the yeah, he's got the cross and the
Sonic?
Rosary beads. No.
Sonic on a cross
without edgy.
Okay, that's an awesome idea.
Gotta get crucified,
Without edgy, the Shadow the Hedgehog video game was, I could see Shadow praying over a rosary while he like stabs someone.
Dude, we're gonna.
Shadow is Judas.
We are absolutely gonna play that entire game on the stream at some point. We are so playing that game.
The Passion of Sonic?
Yeah. Dude, that's gonna happen. That'll be the third Jim Carrey movie that they do.
I would watch Sonic if it was Boondock Saints.
Yeah.
Dude, we are so gonna play that Shadow the Hedgehog game on the stream at some point.
Yeah, that looks good.
Alex, and you're gonna be the one that's got their hands on the controller.
Why?
I thought you were gonna say who has
You-
the
Just
cookie
open the
jar.
door of the most embodied Shadow the Hedgehog.
Well, because you said.
I'm
gnome loving ways.
I'm really edgy, dude.
Yeah, you like live in a hot.
Well, you
I
you.
do, man. Like I got like everything pierced. Like things that you don't even.
I don't want to know.
You don't even want to.
You got a dick hole.
Yeah, I got
piercing?
a ring. I got rings between my toes.
Oh, that's not.
Can you stand over like Pinhead?
Yeah, dude.
All right, we're gonna backtrack for just a
Got my
second.
fingertips here.
Fingertips.
But what the fuck is that name? That actor that was in like
Jim Carrey?
no Good Omens. You know, it was like him.
David Tennant.
But not David Tennant.
The opposite.
Yes, the opposite of David Tennant.
I don't remember his name, but I know I can picture his face. I know who you're talking about.
It's David.
There's actually, I'm going to backtrack for a second here because there is something we missed last time. Wait, hold on.
That giant thinker?
Yeah.
No, you know what? We looked at this.
Tennant.
You know what is cool to notice though?
Yeah. Just the same name.
So he's
David
got like a-
and Tennant are the same names.
You know what is cool to notice though?
Devon.
Yeah.
You guys all remember in the first game how there were like just flesh walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a remake of the first game.
This is clearly a sphincter.
Yeah.
Well, but you remember how they were
But
just
that's what happens when you get worms.
Are you like a proctologist or what?
Yeah.
no. You remember how there was just like
They
flesh
got
walls,
worms,
right?
Yeah.
Just walls of flesh in the first game,
Yeah.
right? So in this game, I think it's interesting to note that you can actually see the human body parts that make up the flesh walls. You can actually see the arms and legs and torsos in these flesh. Like there's a skull right there. You can actually see all the. There's a spine on the wall right there. You can actually see all the little details of all the human bodies that are going into making up the flesh walls. Versus in the original, where it was kind of just generally, yeah, it was just basic flesh. It wasn't like super detailed like that.
That's all the ringworm.
I prefer
What?
I prefer detailed flesh.
Yeah, detailed.
Yeah.
Detailed flesh.
Tapeworm. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it makes them hard to pass.
Yeah, that'd be painful. Imagine passing.
Yeah, just like the teeth scrape me on the way out.
No, that's in the toilet, just laughing at you like shell.
Can you imagine your toilet gets clogged and then you gotta call the plumber to get the skull out of your toilet?
Well, that just sounds terrible. Dude.
You gotta like wipe like bone fragments off.
I don't know, man. How powerful is your ass? Is it really shattering skull?
Is it Martin Sheen that was in Apocalypse Now?
Marlon
Charlie
Brando?
Sheen, right?
No, Charlie Sheen was in Platoon.
Oh,
Marlon Brando was. Or wait,
Marlon
God, was
Brando
it that
in
long
Apocalypse
between
Now.
those movies?
Brando was in Apocalypse Now.
Well, no. Yeah,
Was Martin Sheen in-
Charlie Sheen's father is in Apocalypse Now. As
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
And
okay,
he's
yeah,
the
yeah.
soldier.
Yeah.
Looking for
Yep,
him.
you're right, and I think
Is it-
that's one of the reasons Charlie Sheen really wanted to do Platoon.
Yeah,
because
that's
he
true.
wanted to do a
What
Vietnam
Charlie
War
Sheen
movie.
was
and then abandoned that concept after that movie.
Yeah, you guys were all like
acting
detailing
one?
which actors
Yeah.
were watching it. And you're going, oh, Apocalypse Now. I'm like, that terrible movie about the Aztecs? Oh, wait, no, that was Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that when you were like 3, Alex?
Apocalypse?
Yeah.
No, Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, Last of the Mohicans.
Apocalypto.
That wouldn't be as
Yeah.
bad as Apocalypse.
Well, yeah, I mean, there still is like that the scalping scene in Last of the Mohicans are pretty brutal.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
It's pretty dark for a 3-year-old.
I don't know, I think kids should learn what scalping is.
Is that Daniel
Really?
Day-Lewis?
They might need to do it.
Yeah, it's
someday,
Daniel
you know, when
Day-Lewis.
we regress back to like,
Playing in
fucking,
Gears
like
4.
when the
I was
nuclear
gonna say,
bombs
Daniel
go off,
Day-Lewis
we're all
play
living
like
in a wasteland,
Pocahontas
it's
or
like Mad Max.
whatever.
Well, that's gonna
I
happen.
mean, not exactly, but he definitely plays a Native American character.
Okay.
But I guess that was okay back then.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Playing Pocahontas.
Pokemon, did you say?
No, you said
Oh.
Pokemontis.
Oh god.
I'm glad they had a character named Adam recently.
That should just be like a walking headdress.
A Pokeball for a head.
That's gonna be the next Pokemon.
Pokemontis.
I mean, that sounds like roughly as offensive as that Jinx Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's what
That sounds pretty offensive, man. Definitely not gonna lie, that sounds like it'd be pretty offensive.
We're probably gonna get canceled like that Seinfeld guy.
Just we're thinking of Pokemontis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why
my
don't
bad.
they like skeletons?
That was China.
Oh.
This is what we missed.
That's correct.
This is the thing we missed last time.
They don't like skeletons.
In China, yes. Well, specifically, they don't like it when foreign media introduces supernatural elements that could be deemed offensive.
skeletons
to the
are
stability
natural.
Hold on. Supernatural.
They are pretty natural, I'll say that.
Well, they mean like ambulatory skeletons.
Right.
Skeleton hiding inside.
But they know none of
It's like there's a secret man inside me.
I want to get the secret man out of me.
The skeleton has possessed me.
It was in you the whole time.
This is the follow-up on that new side mission that wasn't in the first game. Side chick, did you say?
Check.
No, Isaac's got a main chick, man.
I know, bottomless table.
She's dead and crazy, but yeah.
Is that his side chick on the table, though?
No. She's the doctor.
Oh, okay.
She's the doctor in this hologram.
How come that thing's bowels have arms?
Oh.
Huh?
How come its bowels have arms?
That's how necromorphs work, dude. That's how necromorphs work, man. They got little arms coming out of their fucking shit shoots.
Shit.
I think you need to get checked out.
It's a shit. It is a shit shoot. I mean,
Shit. I didn't know I was weird.
Yeah,
My
you're
bad.
mute.
yeah, you're weird, man.
Did you hear about what he was going to call it? Eagle? He's going to call it Regal the Eagle.
Regal the Eagle. I'm for it. I am for it.
And his brother is Spiegel the Eagle.
Spiegel the Eagle. Regal and Spiegel, the Eagle brothers.
Does Eagle have two heads so he can be like the German flag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Prussian
think,
flag, I think. So.
All
I
right.
think
That's
that's
like-
So let's see.
Well, then he can have twice the shits.
Yeah.
You-
Because he eats twice as
He
much.
can just
Yeah.
like regurgitate into one mouth and mouth regurgitate.
Oh, God.
Back and forth.
Yeah.
They're
like
like more
making out
positive
with
version
each
of
other.
I want to watch that.
The German flag is making out with it.
But it's just two birds vomiting.
I will be the voice that pushes us towards the game just a little
Oh,
bit.
okay,
But that
yeah.
sequence there, I think that's really cool. Just because
I
in
don't
the
think so.
in the original, is it safe? No, yeah, it's not. It's not. I definitely don't think so.
That's
But-
like ISIS.
What?
Oh,
ISIS? No. The idea though that
For recruits, they're trying to hire the necromorphs.
the idea though that in this remake they took Nicole, which was a pretty forgettable like girlfriend
Nicole
character.
Cornbread,
Nicole, not Nicole Cornbread.
Corn?
That was the person you actually knew in high school. That does not translate. That does not translate to the audience.
Yeah, I mean, the character's name is what? Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Nickelodeon. Yeah, slime. No. Nicole, his girlfriend in the original game, didn't have a whole hell of a lot of personality. You just saw her as the evil hallucination version, right? But now in this one, with all these hologram kind of recordings we're finding, it's almost making it almost kind of seem like she is the main like scientist doctor character that kind of started to figure out what was going on. Right, well, like what was going down with the infection, the necromorph infection. Yeah, down with the... What?
Yeah. So is this like that Professor Christmas character from James Bond?
What are you fucking talking about?
Serious, what's her name?
I don't know, though.
Not,
Professor Christmas?
Not Tara Reid, but the...
Tara
Are they
Reid?
related to Dr. Hanukkah?
Is that a porn star?
Doctor.
Officer Ramadan?
No, I meant Tara Reid is a porn... Is Tara Reid a porn star or no?
Well, that's an actress who probably had to bear herself a lot in film, but I mean, no.
Are you thinking of Denise Richards?
Yes, Denise
Yeah,
Richards.
where she was
She
pretending to be
played-
like a
I know her. She's
played a
pretty
nuclear
attractive.
physicist?
Yeah, she played a nuclear physicist.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, seriously. She played a nuclear physicist whose last name was Christmas in the movie.
Did
And
she?
then-
I don't remember her name.
And then fucking...
No, this is James Bond, so
Yeah,
close.
but yeah, and then the last line of the movie is, of course, Pierce Brosnan, James Bond saying, "I thought
Octopussy.
I thought Christmas only came twice a year." You know, that's what. That's the elegant writing.
That's-
I mean, they have
That's
the writing
legitimately
quality
funny to me, though.
in a lot of the old James Bond movies.
Yeah.
That's legitimately funny to me, though.
Well, I mean-
I thought Christmas only came twice a year.
I like how snooty he is about it in your.
That is how Pierce Brosnan
Is
sounds.
that not how he sounds?
Well, he like, I don't know. I guess he tried to make it sound cool or whatever.
It wasn't as good as Moonraker.
Did he?
What was Moonraker? Did you do?
That was the one with the little...
The space fight?
Yeah.
Roger.
Oh, I thought you meant there was like a sex pun in the movie at some point. I mean,
Well, there
there's a sex pun-
probably
there's a sex pun
was.
in every James Bond movie.
Yeah, that doesn't stop,
You know,
man.
Yeah. And Eagle will go. Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, that never stops. I mean, did Daniel Craig make any sex puns? He's the newest
Not
one.
many, like Spectre had like a couple because they were trying to be like.
I'd like to spectate you.
In his Craig.
Look at this. Look at the flesh walls again, though. Look at that. Look at how there's like actual like bodies and shit, like still not quite absorbed all the way into the necromorph. A little bit, yeah. Well, like I love that, like, because the whole idea with the necromorph infection, right, is that they are, you know, it's just a massing, you know, and oh shit, gotta get me an exploder. Well, they're just amassing body mass, right? Like, and just any creature. Oh shit. Fucking. Yeah, it's those. Yeah, those are actually maybe the most obnoxious enemy even in the original game. The most obnoxious enemy maybe even in like the actual original game.
Did you stomp on his pooping arm?
I think so. I think I got all the. There's got to be a stasis thing in here somewhere.
You think ISIS would have been more fun if it was Italian?
Oh, I'm a blow up ahead.
Mamma mia, the lasheria!
That's great. That's great. That's fucking fantastic.
That's not really a pun.
No, that was.
Nice.
You can't be racist to Italians.
Dude,
1800s America would disagree.
Yeah,
I am so Italian. I get to be the authority of the four of us.
Are we just all a bunch of goombas or what?
Well, I know I'm a dirty guinea.
That's an Irish person.
No.
Guinea? No, that's Italian, dude.
Oh, okay.
I think
Guinea's
back
Italian.
then they were called. Yeah, back then they
You
were
can be a
called-
Mick.
Yeah,
We're seeing so many racial slurs in the first like 10 minutes of the stream.
they're only for one.
Well, that's true. But
Those are the racial slurs I'm still allowed to say.
Do you think the
But we can't say Fredo.
well,
Yeah,
that's like the
yeah,
N word.
that's- Chris Cuomo will come and beat you up.
Do you think the guineas ever got confused between other guineas and Germans?
And maybe guinea pig.
Probably, dude.
Maybe.
The guinea pigs are like the pygmy people of this.
I hear him. Where is he? That's a big difference between the original and this game, and I think we talked about this in the last stream too, but like, damn man, it is like, in the original you could like see the outline of everything, even when it was dark, but in this one you actually have to rely on your flashlight, like in a really significant capacity to see what's happening. Well, they'd all combine into like a bigger thing. I mean, that'd be like the hive mind of that would be as big as like a normal one for here. And you, goddamn, you really have to rely on that fucking flashlight, man.
Oh, what were we going to talk about before the stream started?
I don't even remember.
It'll come back at some point.
Oh, we were talking about something that has to do with Harry Potter, I thought.
Oh yeah, people are getting real bitchy about that Harry Potter game.
Yeah, okay. So
That's like the only game Nadia is actually going to play herself this year.
You said Dead Space, too.
yes, I did.
Oh yeah, dude.
This is a
I told them a little bit about it.
Something
Yeah,
about, like,
they think it's a
somebody,
woke
like-
leftist psyop. This
it's a
remake
propaganda piece to turn
Oh
gay.
yeah, you were telling.
because the characters
The bathrooms are
they have a unisex symbol on them on the bathrooms.
We have
real
unisex
bathrooms.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. For 40 years now,
Yeah.
we've had that.
And never
But
mind, this is an industrial spaceship. You think that space would be limited, so you're not going to go overboard on bathrooms.
Right.
yeah, and then also like they like race swapped the characters that die in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, that guy who died.
No, he was Asian in the original. He was Asian in the original too.
I don't think they race swapped anyone, to be honest. But people
The only one that they-
before.
The only thing that they changed was there was a new woman who wasn't in the original game at all, who stays behind trying to repair the
Literally
spaceship.
Don't know what she looked like.
No, she wasn't in the original game at all. It just
Well, even
happens
this,
to be.
I don't remember what she looked like.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she just stays behind, and then the second you go back to the ship, it blows up, and she dies anyway.
People are mad that there's another like female NPC in the game, and that's a woke,
That dies after 30 seconds of screen time.
That's a woke psyop.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Like, there's all the actually insane woke shit, and then there's the people who see it everywhere, and they call shit that isn't woke at all woke. Like, there's the two levels of it. There's the actual shit that's crazy, that's woke, and then there's the people that see it in everything.
Well, it's the same thing when people talk about like conspiracy theories, and there are those conspiracy theories where like, oh, yeah, that seems like that might be true, and then there's the ones where you're like, oh my god, dude, you make everybody
Like the flat Earth.
all the conspiracy theories.
The moon is a hologram that's also a giant laser.
Also the
Yeah.
premise of Moonfall.
God, Hollywood did make that.
They did make a conspiratorial moon movie.
That was, you guys saw.
They
that
team
shit
up
about
with the
that.
moon.
You guys
Oh.
saw all that shit about the Chinese spy balloon.
Yes, it is.
Did you see the first video that got posted of it? Because
Dude, the fact that like 3 of those happened during Trump's administration.
There's actually been 5 of those so far.
5 of them? Yeah. And we just... He refused to release the footage about it, though, so no one knew to freak out about it.
Release the Snyder Cut.
The Snyder Cut version of the Chinese. Yeah, no. It happened like 3 times during Trump's administration, and he didn't release any footage of it or tell anyone.
What I read is that nobody told him about it.
Yeah,
He
because
didn't
Oh, that'd be different.
I actually think he's probably telling the truth because that's the sort of thing he would have used to rile up his base.
That's a good point. I will give you
I'm
that.
usually like all like pro-Trump or something, but I think this is one time where I probably
It
won't
makes
take his
sense.
word.
Yeah.
Well, I think
No,
what
fair
it,
enough,
I
fair
think
enough.
what it is from what I've heard about the ones that happened during Trump was president was like one of them was over Guam.
Okay.
One of them was like
Oh.
one of them like went over Hawaii. But they were like,
Well, that's the
but
United States.
the military was like, okay, well these really are just like flying over these islands. We don't need to tell anybody.
Do you
about
think they're
this.
trying to
This
collect our
probably-
porn habits?
This probably isn't even intentional or whatever.
Yeah, they weren't
Yeah.
aware that it was a concentrated spy campaign.
Yeah. But no. What,
Oh, damn it.
dude.
With all your wins.
Yep, just instantly.
But no, did you guys see like so it wasn't really supposed to come out. Like they'd been tracking it for a while, but they didn't want the public to know about it until some random reporter in Billings, Montana, just went outside and like caught it on film or whatever. But the guy sitting there, he's like points to this phone at the moon. He's like, "That's the moon." And then he points over at the thing, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" It's just a big balloon in
It
the.
was like 200 feet tall, wasn't it?
It was the size of like 3 school buses,
Yes.
I guess, and was at like 60,000 feet.
Damn, that's bigger than I thought it was.
Oh, yeah,
Shit.
it's massive.
So what do they think? It is a Chinese spy balloon?
Well, the Chinese admitted it was theirs, but they claimed it was a weather balloon.
Okay.
that had like been blown off course or something, and they made like a fuss about it. They're kind of pissed. They wouldn't take a phone call, I guess. Like they just
I don't
refused.
expect them to take.
Fuck your phone call.
Yeah.
Well, I know in China there was this former like state-run media
Ah!
right, who has been getting all gung ho about how the
Get outta here, bro.
citizens
I like
are
you.
imminent war with the U.S. and all that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, we're in like such a fucking turmoil time of politics, man. Like shit's fucking scary right now.
I mean, we're in another Cold War, so.
Oh yeah, we are 100%.
Man, it's like about to be hot.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it is interesting after this balloon thing because a lot of people were like,
Who would have thought balloons, man?
before.
God damn it.
Before
Can
we
you slow
shot
the
down.
big thing with your can you just,
Can you?
I don't remember.
I thought you just had to run between the. I'll try. I thought you just had to run between them, but.
But before we shot the balloon down, you know, everybody was like kind of in their political corners. So like the Republicans were like, "Oh, Biden's such a pussy. Why won't he shoot down this balloon?" And then the Democrats were like, "We don't need to shoot down the balloon. It's fine." And then,
Oh, we're afraid we're fucking pussies.
now that the balloon finally did get shut
Nope,
down,
stasis does not work on that thing.
both sides now are like, "Fuck China. We've been at war with China for years." Democrats and Republicans now are basically saying like, "We've been in a shadow," which is true. I've been saying
It's
that
been a
we've
Cold
been
War
in.
for a while.
Yeah, I've been saying we've been in a shadow war with China for a while, but it's the first time I've heard this many politicians at this level basically be like, "Yeah, we've been in a shadow war with China for years."
Well, there was also that Chinese company that bought some land. I think it was in North Dakota. They were going to build like a corn mill there. And they had already gotten like permission.
Those
to do it.
bastards.
They got a license and everything. But then everyone in the town was like, "Oh, we don't want this Chinese spy mill here." And then the Air Force came out and they're like, "Yeah, we think that they're going to use this site to spy on Air Force bases or some shit."
Yeah.
So that company's like permission to build the thing is now in limbo, and the Chinese are pissed about that as well.
Yeah, I think we are like one thing that was surprising but illustrates how much the China threat has kind of been acknowledged was like when Biden came in, he scrapped so much of the stuff that Trump did, but he doubled down on decoupling with China.
Yes.
Like that policy did not change at all after Trump left.
I mean, that's one of the few Trump policies I actually kind of liked was decoupling from China.
Right, and that's why I think.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Well, it's hard to.
It's
build
hard,
industrial
but-
capacity.
I like,
we've
but I
switched
would.
all
I'll
in-
say that I like the concept at least
Yeah.
of decoupling from
Well,
China.
it's gonna happen.
Even if
Like,
the
it's. I mean, it's already started to some extent, but it's
Well,
just
both
gonna
the
continue.
U.S. and China are pushing away from each other. They both want to decouple.
Right. And honestly, like, the price of labor in China has gone up so quickly,
it's the hentai game now.
but a lot of the economic. Well, I'm never thinking about that weird tentacle.
You know, you don't like that one? What about that one time when we watched it together?
Is that the live action tentacle thing? That was weird.
No, you did send me that, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought I could see that. Yeah, live action tentacle porn.
yeah, we've watched that together. It's not weird.
It's pretty weird.
It's pretty bizarre, dude.
Yeah.
But it
Ulysses,
is.
I think you're the only one here I haven't watched some weird porn video with.
Lucky me.
Yeah. I remember that one porn I showed you where like but it was because it was funny because like the chick and the dude were naked and it seemed like they were about to do it and he was like, alright, I'll be right back. The guy walked into another room and he came back with just like a pitcher of water and just like threw cold water in her face and she was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I got you good, didn't I?
You know, I will say, I'm afraid.
Things I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid to genuinely dive into that, but like, there's actually some really unintentionally
Well, you've seen the
comedic potential.
You've seen the lemon tree one, right?
Well, that one's on
Where they're
YouTube,
like,
yeah.
where they're like,
you can watch that
they,
without
like,
the actual
they, like,
porn
look in their
part.
backyard and it's like, God damn it, that those women-stealing whores are back. And then I go outside and it's like, you damn whore, you stealing our lemons?
Or look at all the look at the faces inside the wall
Well,
tentacle.
topical to this one is Alien Sex Files 3.
We also watched that together. We did.
Just
Yeah.
alien porn?
Well, no, it was literally like soft. It was the most soft-core, tame, not actually porn that
Oh,
you
you
could
did tell me about
possibly
that.
imagine on
Yeah,
HBO.
that line you always remember is the one that makes you laugh.
Well, because these two secret agents are like watching these two, like clearly it's just two women like having the most soft-core, like not actually porn that you can imagine, and these two secret agents are watching it, and they're like, "Why are we watching this again?" It's like, well, dude, we gotta find out if they're aliens or not. It's just like the logic of that was.
I'm telling you, that's basically James Bond writing for about 30, 40 years.
Well, I do.
Yeah, I mean-
Octopussy is like one of the original James Bond movies.
That's why in Austin Powers the woman named A Lot of Vagina is so funny. What's your name? A Lot of Vagina.
Well, that character that is making fun of is from Goldfinger, and
Is that Goldfinger? Is it? Oh, it's not
Goldfinger,
Octopussy.
His girlfriend character is named Pussy Galore.
Oh,
So it's not even a large
right. Certainly not. Certainly not. A lot of
And the
vagina.
writers from the guys from the 60s back then, they're like, oh, pussy just meant something else back then. It's like, well, what the fuck else could it have possibly meant?
Cats, I guess. I
I
mean,
don't know. Yeah.
I still think
There's
that.
nothing about
No, dude, I'm telling you that the fucking cartoon the Pink Panther, that's the cartoon cat.
that was Hentai too back.
Well, no, because that concept led to Snagglepuss, and Snaggletooth is a tooth that doesn't like fit inside your mouth; it like hangs out. So a Snagglepuss is like a pussy that's out of control.
Like that has a tooth sticking out? Like, I don't know.
Well, maybe. I mean, I don't know.
It's like that cave with the single stalactite, you know?
Yeah, pussy stalactites.
Yeah, you don't want to stick your dick in there and like fall on you.
Yeah. Yeah, weird.
Pussy stalactites doesn't sound great, man.
No,
I gotta say.
Yeah,
Like,
wow.
if your dick might get, like, impaled from the top down.
That's economics for you.
Some dudes
Is it? Economics.
Trickle down dick impalements.
Yeah.
Trickle down dick impalements, man.
What's tricky dick impaled?
Entering zero gravity.
No, what probably happened with James Bond is pussy was probably like becoming slang for the first time, like it was kind of like an inside like slang or whatever, and they were like, oh, like we can sneak this in here, and then they like, never thought about that it would go pretty mainstream.
Right.
From one ship's mining claim, huh?
No, for sure.
This outbreak started on the colony after the miners dug up some artifacts. Something alien.
That's impossible.
But it would explain why Aegis 7 is meant to be off limits, right? Earth God's orders. When
Are
the
you
miners
gonna
found
finish
the
that?
artifact, they reported hallucinations, paranoia, suicide.
I'll pour
But
one.
the issue more brought to
You're
the
good.
forefront
No,
was
you're good.
language.
You're good. I'll pour new ones.
That was the plan.
Bring that over here. Sage is,
You don't have a headset, to be fair.
Sage is jonesing for it.
Well, no, I mean, you can have it. I got more alcohol.
Dog bottle.
Okay, here you go, Sage. Here's a whole bottle of shots for
Drink
it.
the whole thing.
Ooh.
I was
Hey,
asking for
this
my
is perfectly legal as long as no one is specifically paying me to drink. What's this? Oh, my glass. Yeah.
I don't know if you actually want the glass.
I thought you were pouring on
Yeah.
Well, we're out of sour, so I gotta just do the straight whiskey. Alright. Michael, there you go. If you want to set that back down. Careful with that glass, too.
That is my
That's-
favorite quick and easy cocktail.
Whiskey sour is a solid cocktail, man. Okay, so we gotta set the lights up here. We are already past where I was. See, I don't have no idea here. Is there a junction box around here somewhere? Oh, right, we can go down here. Didn't even think about that. Can I do anything with that? Scan rig to unlock workstation. Alright.
Sorry, I'm blocking.
No, you're fine, dude. Link was in front of Ulysses' face, like the entire Mother Russia stream. Literally, just
tell people about the dog.
I mean, you
Baja Blast in there?
Yeah, it's really watered Baja Blast.
watered down Baja Blast.
Yum.
Yeah, I just want to get rid of it.
Alright.
Maybe so you said that hard Mountain Dew is no good? No bueno.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, it's just one of
No
those,
bueno, man.
Like a wine
cooler.
flavored malt liquor. Yeah. That's the thing. That's always I get a kick out of wine coolers. It's not wine. It's basically a 40 with like soda syrup in it.
Right.
God, I've had so much more than that today.
What's up?
Fans. Turn off the fans. Open the second airlock. That seems. Oh shit. I don't know, man. I feel like there's. Yeah, Hogwarts. Yeah. Before I left the room the first time, that is what we were talking about.
Yeah.
No, dude, like I straight up saw some like actually like well-known and popular critics get like just straight up like bullied by the chat on their Twitch channel because they were playing that game to review it.
Yeah, because they personally.
It makes me. It makes me want to play it more.
Yeah, right, absolutely.
Well, it's amazing to me that like people who clearly for so much of their lives love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, okay, if you don't like the other people that like Harry Potter, so you decide I'm not going to like it because they like it, isn't that you gifting something you like to people you don't like?
but also it's just like
Right? Isn't that you giving something you like to people that
But
you
see
don't
that
like?
the Harry Potter itself betrayed you because it's literally the same thing as the person who wrote it. That's how art works.
Yeah, because J.K. Rowling had access to Twitter, you know, it betrayed you.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean,
I mean, like, I watched like an hour-long video of this
No. Dude, Ender's Game is one of the most... The message at the heart of the book Ender's Game is one of the most inclusive messages you could possibly have in a story. Yeah, and he is an asshole, and I don't like him as a person. He was also super racist, yeah. But the Ender's, yeah, it doesn't make me feel differently about that piece of art,
No.
right? The message at the heart of the piece of art.
So
Yeah.
railing against whatever his personal ideas are, anyway. It's just espousing something positive.
Right. It's. I mean, yeah. I
Because that was like a thing throughout the entire book series, too.
yeah. It was all about like the Ender's Game is like straight up got like hyper progressive messages, despite the author being like genuinely like anti-gay, and it makes me not like him, but it doesn't make me not like the book he wrote.
Yeah.
But in that
Like-
that chick's video at the end of it, her like thesis on it was like so non-committal because she was like at the end of the video she was like, so does liking Harry Potter make you a bad person? I don't know. Like it was an
hour-long video.
Yeah.
You can't even make a conclusion.
but you're.
Wow.
I don't know, man.
That's
I mean,
pathetic.
And I just like I felt like just commented. I just wrote something there. I was like, just because she didn't fucking say anything substantial at the end of this video, I'll just say that. Right, I just said like no, like Harry Potter doesn't make you that. Like in
Well, be fair, Harry Potter did have those Jewish goblins in it.
I know, but
Well, but you also remember James Lindsay and his writing partner that wrote that took Mein Kampf and just replaced Jew with white male, submitted it to all the universities, and they all thought it was great.
It's really
Yeah.
interesting to listen to James Lindsay talk about how they pulled that off because he said when they first did it, they got.
I'm a liquor bomb.
oh shit, yeah, you're right.
It is interesting. To
Oh
hear.
shit.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Well, we can move
No,
that.
it's fine, it's fine.
Let's
It's a funny video.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, come on.
a little to the side. You can move into your face. All right. No.
Yeah.
All right, we got a flamethrower. Let's see if it sucks this time or if
Oh
it.
yeah, I remember the flamethrower kind of sucked ass.
It sucked in the original, yeah.
Video game flamethrowers are very hit or miss.
Yeah, they are.
But like, and just even in that video, like she brought up the legacy of Harry Potter. Like, it is the last children's book that made children excited to read books. It is the last one.
Yeah, that's true.
It might be the last book ever.
It was.
No, I'm talking about like a lengthy novel or whatever.
I don't know, it was also just Harry Potter in general is one of the last major media franchises to blow up.
Yeah,
like just to like completely from scratch.
Yeah,
like how
if
it's
you
so
like sort of
majorly culturally important.
No, they're Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the books are older though. The show is newer, but the books are older.
But I mean, but Game of Thrones.
That's
but
well,
like
sure.
something that got children in mass excited
To read the books themselves, not watch the movie.
Like Game of Thrones is for adults and whatever, but like I don't know if there'll ever be in print something like that again.
I just don't know how, like, especially Harry Potter. I mean, like, as J.K. Rowling went on, like, you know, and the kids got older, they became like more intense as books. But it was like the last time, like, a fairly wholesome story, like, really blew up and became. Like, I mean,
wholesome outside of the couple.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's the thing is I will say, just fuck off and enjoy the art for what it is, and, you know, I don't give a shit. But the goblins, it is, you can't deny that that's there. Yeah, like, you can't deny it's there. Like, it doesn't change my feeling and make me say you can't enjoy the book, but you also can't deny that it's there.
Yeah.
It's both at the same time. All right, we're deep into the flesh walls now. Well, look at it, man. It looks terrible.
Yeah, you're gonna get in there deeper, say? Perhaps harder and faster as well.
Look at that. Yeah. Low on ammo for my other guns now. So one thing about that actually makes the like hardest difficult. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Yep, first time we've seen these. Oh, I hate these fucking things. The fat ones are definitely showing up soon. Yeah, those were obnoxious.
So how many people gaming like might think this is just the original or like the first Dead Space?
Well, I think quite a few of the people who accuse it of being a wolf psyop have probably never played the original.
Yeah, those people never played the original game.
I mean, that's from the original.
I think that's new, but I do think it's new, but it's like it's like those unisex signs existed when the original came out.
Well, I know there are people who are bitching about stuff that is true of the original. Like there were lots of white guys who were mad about Isaac Superior being a black dude.
And still the point of unisex bathroom is that only one person can be in there at a time.
Yes.
So,
It's not like it's multiple stalls, which is the issue.
It's also the better way to do that. Because they call it bathrooms if they're broadly I would love it.
Yeah, if they were individual like Hy-Vee. I like going to the bathroom at Hy-Vee because they have like seven individual
You know what?
stalls.
Yeah.
That flamethrower does work better.
That guy pretty fast.
Yeah, that works better than the original.
I wonder how it works on like roof.
It seemed like the main thing was it burned his flesh off.
Yeah.
Really quickly.
No, maybe they fixed the flamethrower.
If they fix the flamethrower, then this game outshines the original, like, in every way.
Yeah, gameplay-wise, there were lots of things very fun.
Well, in the original, it's like, the plasma cutter was so good, and then, like, the Ripper, like, for the most part, you didn't even use... Oh, shit. Oh, there's a fat one. There it is. Yeah, that's way better than the original game.
The original one just tickles me.
Yeah, the flamethrower fucking sucked in that game. So did most of the guns. Yeah, the guns sucked in general. Yeah, the force gun did nothing in the original, and in the remake, it's you can use it to summon like a miniature black hole in this one.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it.
Yeah, it's like really like the people that really have complaints about this. I'm like, are you fucking serious?
Well, it's just it's amazing to me.
None of them have to do with how the game actually works, right?
But
I
I mean,
mean,
like,
that's sort of the go-to now. Everything is a bolt style. Doesn't matter what it is.
But and then it makes it like when you actually like notice the thing that really is, though, it makes it so that you get looked at crazy for saying it, even though.
Everybody looks at you as crazy, like no matter what you're playing.
Well, that's true. That's the problem with the whole both sides thing, right? Is that they both genuinely just do such crazy shit that you can't really appeal to either one.
It's gotten to a point where both political parties just see their own, like maintaining their own narrative as a person. They switch anything to fit whatever agenda they're trying to push. Which means you can never really get an objective view of it. I mean, that's why you basically have to read news from
every possible source.
From the central, like more respected, sources like an AP or like an Al Jazeera or something that
you can't put together the real story for yourself unless you read the left wing, right wing, and central source of all of the same story. Like all of those of the exact same story. You have to just dive that far. Oh, God damn it!
Especially because both sides just like treat everything as a moral standard.
Yeah.
Like so it's
which
always,
it's funny because they used to only be the right.
They used to only be the right. Yeah.
Once upon a time, it was only the right. Now it's both.
Yeah, you need to be afraid all the time. You need to be outraged all the time.
Wow. It's the only. They don't want to change the system structurally in any way because they make a lot of money off of it. Right. So the only issues that they can get you to care about are the ones that won't cost them anything. So that's why issues like the whole gender identity, sexual orientation stuff, abortion, anything like that stuff that you can spend, you can get people fighting over and get them all passionate about, and then they won't be concerned about like, you know, the fiscal stability of the dollar or like the future of the U.S. economy or
all the things that like actually matter to every single person's daily life.
If you go back and read the stuff they were talking about at the turn of the 20th century, like late 1800s, early 1900s, like farmers were concerned about like the gold standard and about like silver and the backing of money and the stability. Yeah, I mean that is what that is based on, and that's because that was the major discussion. But like regular people in the street were trying to talk about if it made more sense for the dollar to be based on gold and silver, and now the dollar's based on nothing. It's like people couldn't give a
well, not nothing. The petrodollar that we extort from Middle Eastern countries for their oil.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not really based on oil. It's based on the U.S. being able to threaten countries to buy oil in dollars.
Right. That's what I mean, though.
Like, I would like a commodity-backed currency. I think that's the most responsible thing to do. There's no
like JFK wanted the silver shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it makes sense to base it on precious metals, but like the U.S.
Maybe not that specifically, but something.
Stockpiles of essential commodities: oil, copper, iron, uranium, just all that. Yeah, I know, but if you had large stockpiles of all that stuff, and the aggregate value of that was what the value of the dollar was derived from, then like during like currency crises, we could sell off the stockpile to stabilize the currency, which is what they used to do. Is they would just sell gold into the market in order to deflate the dollar, or they buy up gold. Like that's a much easier way than just raising and lowering interest rates to like actually intervene in the economy. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird to go back. Like then to listen.
The entire economy off of tribalism.
Well, I mean that's what we're trying to do, but that's what happens when societies are dying. You know, that's the last refuge of a dying society is to try to build up like national. That's what happens to authoritarian countries. Right. Their economies begin to collapse, there's social unrest, and then they just decide to pick a war or pick a minority in the country.
Blame it all on, yep.
And I mean, it kind of works. Like it kind of, if you can get everybody on side and willing to suffer because you blame it all on some enemy and you promise if you defeat that enemy all the problems will go away, like that tends to be the solution.
And because America is so corporate, they only focus on short-term return on investment.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, if it does drum up some profit in the meanwhile.
Yeah. Well, that's what U.S. military policy more than anything is to boost the margins on the defense side.
Like, there's no company that looks like more than 30 years.
Oh, not even. They're looking at the next 40 years. Like investors.
Yeah, not even an entire year.
The average investor at this point wants to get in on a stock and sell right before the earnings call. Like that's what they do.
That seems like the one advance in economics theory that could be made that I don't think has like actually making companies think what would be better for your company long term.
Well,
yeah.
companies used to think that way. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the computers are what it allowed people, like, I mean, you used to have to, like, call your stockbroker and be like, hey, I want to sell this many shares, and then they'd get a list of all the shares that everybody wanted to sell, and then they would have to call the guy who was on the floor at the actual stock exchange, who would then have to try to get someone's attention and literally turn in the stock certificates and stuff. Like, there used to be a job where people would have to physically be in a location, but now that you can do it on a computer, companies are just, they'll just drop them within hours, pick it up, drop it, pick it up, drop it. There's a lot of money to be made doing that, but it's just, it's like vampiric on the economy. You're sucking out value without creating anything. Yeah, that's
all those nuclear bunkers they got over there, man.
Yeah.
Related to it, you see all the fucking games as a service that have been falling apart recently.
Oh, dude, the entire games as a service industry. It's like that and open world games finally feel like they're kind of reaching their end as a trend. I was just talking to Michael about this earlier today, actually, is that like from like 2004 to like 2014, 2013, something like that, we had first-person shooters as like the overdone trend. And then as soon as that ended, we got open world games as the overdone trend.
Everybody wanted to do it.
But then it became live service games kind of at the same time. And now we've been dealing with live service games and open world games at the same time. And it seems like they're both dying finally.
Well, I mean, it's like there are a few types of games that you want to have an open world for. And like a few games that are on that scale where you'd like to have an open world. Not every game does not need an open world.
Oh God, no.
Not every game needs to be like 100 hours.
No, well, most of them don't.
Most shouldn't.
Right.
Well, especially when half of that is just an endless series of
Fetch quests.
similar fetch. Yeah,
Yeah, it's like they're not even doing anything new. Yeah, like if an open world game was 1,000 hours long, but there was always a completely new and interesting, engaging thing happening, then sure, it could be infinitely long, and it could still maybe work.
Well, like I was saying to you earlier about the Assassin's Creed games, like I feel like that should be their focus, not the fetch quest stuff, but just visually recreating the ancient world.
Yeah.
And Origins, I think, really does do that. Yeah, Origins nails
I will say that
it.
is one of the things that Assassin's Creed has been pretty consistently good on, and trying to accurately reproduce.
I think Valhalla.
Like its main priority.
Valhalla is the one that I think for the first kind of really felt like it was just big. Well, it's just the English countryside as the Vikings are coming in. Yeah, it's just plain land.
Here's some grass.
Exactly. It
You don't
doesn't.
have to actually create any like cities because there weren't any. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
There
exactly.
are more interesting periods to make.
there are so many interesting periods that they don't do. Like,
Well, the fact that they haven't had one set in Asia yet is
yeah, I mean,
bizarre to me. Like,
Wasn't there like one? Like,
They did announce
there was
one.
an
minor
Assassin's Creed
Assassin's China.
Chronicles that was set in, I believe it was in China.
Yeah, it was a trilogy of side-scroller, like,
One
kind of
was in China,
spin-off.
One was in Russia. and
One was in
The
India.
Revolution.
yeah, see, I mean, those are all great locations that they should.
But they were spin-off games. They weren't really
Yeah, they don't
full-fledged
go on.
games.
Also, why wouldn't you want to do one with like the Maya or with like like the Aztecs or something.
I know that fucking Aztec shit, dude. That'd be so fucking
You
cool.
jump off the top of one of those fucking pyramids. That'd be badass.
I've always said they should do one set during the Indian War, where it was the Japanese invasion of Korea. Because you can have the cool boat mechanics, so like these naval battles. And stuff.
Yep.
And it's just a cool period of history with war, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would they have scalpings and shit in that Mayan game?
The Mayans didn't really do scalping aspects. That's the problem with that's one of the problems with Apocalypto is we don't have because that movie's supposed to be about the Mayans, but then they still have like human sacrifices. Yeah, that was it. That wasn't even a Mesoamerican thing. That was an Aztec thing because the Aztecs were like just horrifically violent death cults.
Are they the ones
The Aztecs were originally.
What's up? No, that game has been around. Yeah.
That would be cool.
You're thinking of This Is the End.
Lacrosse.
Jonah Hill, right?
The North American name did actually play lacrosse.
Okay.
That's a bad. I think that's a sport.
Right.
The Aztecs were originally from like north of North America. They were from like southern America. They moved south. And they were originally like brutal and but they just so later to enforce their power. And like other groups like the Mayans and Tlaxcala and all those groups all thought that the Aztecs were like fucked up and like brutal themselves because they're like we're not okay with this human sacrifice shit. So yeah, it's actually kind of offensive to portray the Mayans as
because
because they were a direct rival to the people that were doing it.
They were the ones having the sacrifice done on them.
That's
right.
when Talocan stepped in.
Oh, and Black Panther.
But I mean, the Aztecs have one of the craziest like origin myths of any people, which just explains how violent they were. Was they were basically like they were forced to live in a swamp, which is where Mexico City is now. But like everybody kept like kicking them out and like forcing them out, and they had to go to the swamp where no one else lived. Mm-hmm. And then they built. Like, Tenochtitlan was, like, a fucking crazy city. They built, like, these giant reed, like, lily pads that floated on top of the marsh. And they built the city, like, the entire city was floating. They built the pyramids on these floating platforms and stuff. Yeah, unreal.
It was also one of the biggest cities in the world.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But the origin myth was that the Aztecs kind of like managed to build a society, and then they went out and like proposed this marriage to another tribe, and the tribe sent the princess to the Aztecs, like to their capital or whatever. But the Aztec chieftain, instead of marrying the princess, flayed her alive and then wore her skin as like a costume. Like
the original Buffalo Bill.
Yeah, wore her skin.
The OG Buffalo Bill, motherfucker.
As a costume to the wedding. So the other tribe like showed up, and then the chieftain was there wearing the daughter's skin.
Yeah, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, they worship like this blade god who requires like regular blood sacrifice.
Engine power failure.
Some god like
Replace power cells to begin ignition sequence.
There's the drowned god.
No, why there's the drowned god and the engine both in a wind, and they worship a flayed man.
In Game of Thrones?
Yeah, the flayed man was definitely their banner. They had a banner of a like flayed guy. It was like red, like the skin had been ripped off or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that was something I was surprised.
Thing up.
Engine power failure. Replace power cells to begin ignition sequence.
Well, I mean, it's shot, but it fucking shit the bed so hard, dude. It's like.
I mean, you could only go up from the end of Game of Thrones. I mean,
that's true.
Yeah.
But I also still have not watched any House of Dragons.
House of the Dragon might still shit itself down.
But that's the problem, right? Is the House of the Dragons could be good for 7 years and then have a really shitty 8th year, and it would be the exact same thing.
Well, what I like about it, at least, is like I haven't finished.
But what if in 7 years it loses what you like about it?
Possibly, but like I started reading like halfway through or whatever, and at least So after
It is a spin-off.
Oh, okay.
it's yeah, it's in the world of Westeros and shit. It's what's written more like a history book. And why I think that's really cool is he's like, just so you don't fuck it up again, I just made a book that is entirely all the way the skeleton of the narrative.
Yeah, unlike Game of Thrones, the ending of it is already written.
Yeah, so he's like, all you have to do is like flesh out the narrative, like more dialogue. But otherwise, all the events and how I envision it going down is all
Which was
That is smart.
clearly one of the deficiencies in Game of Thrones is that they were totally lost about the story. Like they had no idea how to write an English speech. And I don't know if they ever knew how to write at all, and they had just been relying on source material.
Jesus.
Well, what's weird? Well, what I think is true of those writers and the writers of this show is I think sometimes they're good at writing the dialogue.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But like as far as actually plotting out what happened,
Yeah.
I don't think they really knew
I
or
think
had a
that's
good
true.
idea of what was because like we said earlier, like in season 1. There's like a whole scene they wrote.
Yeah, they come up with totally new
King
scenes.
Robert talking to Cersei, and it's like a whole 5-minute dialogue scene.
Yeah, if any of you guys remember that, it's the sequence about how she's talking about, like, could we have ever loved each other? Like, would this ever have worked
Like the
between
only
us?
time those characters ever reflected on their marriage, and that's not
Yeah, it's like a completely original sequence.
and it's like, wow, this is an amazing piece of writing that fleshes out their characters and kind of like feel bad for them. And that's what I liked about how the plot points and just fleshing out so I did in that scene. And it didn't like get me into it like immediately at first with the Dragon show. But by the end of it, they've gotten kind of generational with the history of the characters where
There's some massive time jumps, right? Where it's just
so,
like skipping
the
ahead.
characters who were initially following as children, they're grown and have their own children now, and since you've seen the entire family dynamic between them over the years, you know why everybody hates each other. By the point, it's kind of the present with the finale.
I'm not opposed to watching it.
I am.
I was just kind of so annoyed by Game of Thrones.
I'll be honest, I'm actively opposed to watching anything Game of Thrones anymore.
No, I mean that's fair. I mean, if you
But what if it turns out to be hilariously bad? We can have like a fun night making fun of it.
That's true.
well, like so far it's actually good, but like I am gonna wait until like fully recommend it to you guys till probably the series is over.
That's what I keep saying is like, you know what, it might be good, but I'm gonna wait until the series finale happens, and then if everybody says it ended well, then I'll watch it.
Well, it's just a thing where there's just so much shit television on that well, but I was
Well, that too.
I was like, okay, rather than watch 100 of the mediocre shows, I'm gonna try to watch fucking dope. And it by the end of it, this character dynamic kind of had me hooked again. Because there's like this one of the sons, he's like Snake from Metal Gear Solid. He's got this like one eye patch. He's got this like super low gravelly voice or whatever.
Right.
But he's only like 17 or 19 or whatever.
I'm 17, Metal Gear.
But he's been like studying like philosophy his whole life. He's been studying routine his whole life. And he's not the one in line to get on. So he's like the perfect. So he's got this big chip on his shoulder, but he's like really smart about this and that
So he builds a power robot.
Yeah,
He's waiting for a turn, right?
And there's a cool thing with like the Odin,
So many of them.
And then later, like, just about it, he goes back to this dragon that they had, the largest dragon in the world. And he just basically got and so then the other thing like, that little fucker just stole our dragon, and he's just riding around shit. And then, and the kid's like, you know, like, traded an eye to the largest dragon in the world. It was a worthy trade, or whatever, you know.
And then it becomes How to Train Your Dragon.
Basically.
It's like
metal version of it.
the thing is like I've heard this, and then I've heard several other people describe the show in ways that are genuinely interesting. I just don't. I still can't help bring myself to actually try. I am. I'm a butthurt over it, man.
You're like when that Pie House guy did in Spartacus.
Yeah, man. He raped Caesar. He raped that Caesar salad.
Well, I can't wait to see how that Chinese sci-fi show is going to turn out.
Oh man, that's a disaster waiting to happen.
It's going to be trash.
Because it's the Game of Thrones creators, right?
The show is, yeah.
It's the Game of Thrones writers, but they're doing this adaptation of that very famous Chinese novel.
I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
I got the books on the shelf over there. Sky got them for me.
So they're good though. They're like really
The first two were good. The third one is kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of a weird history because like the author wrote these first two and they're like really well received. But I guess like he got like bored with writing and like also he didn't get enough of the reactions that he wanted from writing his book, so he just sort of gave up. And then he just slapped together whatever bullshit he felt like for the third one, and it's all.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. So the book. I mean, it kind of like Game of Thrones, actually.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that
I actually still haven't read that third one, so I don't know. I've only read the first two.
No, the first three ones.
No, but for the three body problem, I mean.
I don't know. It's hard to compare. Because
You bought us time to figure it
book
out.
4 was things were
Autopilot's taking us
like
into
kind of the
geostationary
lowest
orbit.
moment.
Wait, you're flying us through.
Yeah, book 4 sucks.
The asteroid
I
defense
think
system.
But the
book
ADS
4
is
Game of Thrones
offline.
is genuinely
I've got the
worse.
system
Because
readouts
it's
here.
boring. It's more boring. Than
Dude, it is literally half that book is Cersei at dinner thinking about whether she may or may not torture certain people. It's literally Cersei eating dinner is half that
That's not
book.
very different from Cersei just standing at that balcony with a
Isaac,
glass
you
of
just
wine.
No, dude, that last. No, dude, it is different. It is. Because that only took a minute.
Take it off.
I gotta go now.
Oh, that's it.
That only lasted a minute or two. Whereas the shit in
books.
the shit in the Game of Thrones books was
That's hundreds of pages.
hundreds of pages of her eating dinner. Hundreds of hundreds and hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of hundreds of pages.
Eating. So many descriptions of food.
She's like, how shall I eat this?
Pretty much.
I mean, dude, it's more about food than Space Jam is about baseball. Or basketball.
And George R. R. Martin loves
It was a little bit
wasting
about
time
baseball.
describing every fucking inch of a piece of like a dinner.
Jesus Christ.
It was bad, dude.
That was true even in some of the the good books. He would take long dives into describing food.
And people want to complain about Tolkien writing and describing things for too long.
Yeah.
And you could kind of work with it in like the first 3 books because like there was enough stuff going on that it was fine to take a break and do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Game of Thrones, like the 4th book, has no thing happening.
That's true.
Well, the main thing that makes it work that way and makes it so bad is that
There's supposed to be a time jump.
yeah, book 4 was supposed to be what now is going to be book 6, and we were just going to skip over the events of book 4 and 5, and then last minute he decided, no, never mind, I'm going to write those as entire novels unto themselves, and then they sucked, because when you have the concept that there needs to be a time skip in your story because you're going to skip over a bunch of uneventful and uninteresting information,
Right.
there's a reason for it, and you need to skip over a bunch of uneventful events, and you need to jump forward.
It always seems so weird to hear that the 4th book...
Oh shit!
Oh, there's Nicole Cornbread, man. But to hear that the 4th book is written like that, because...
Dude, it's so bad.
His
awful.
style of writing is the gardening style of writing, or whatever, where you're just planning so much shit that could potentially...
Dude, Attack on Titan's The Architect, and you see the difference when you compare the two
Right.
together, right? It's like...
But I'm just saying, like, it's so weird that he sets up so much in each of the first 3 books, and then would set nothing up in the 4th book.
Yeah,
it just seems weird.
The 4th book could have been like 1,000 pages where each one just said intermission.
Dude, that's literally every page could have said intermission.
Yeah, it would have saved you some time.
Wow.
I kept that book for like quite a while, and I used it to help myself fall asleep when I had like insomnia.
That's-
Dude, it's genuinely terrible.
It's like... intermission. It's like, while Cersei takes time to eat, so may you.
Pretty much. You might as well.
Dude, it's so awful.
Wow.
I mean, every once in a while, we'd have her like cutting some dudes.
Oh, also, Michael.
Wow, weird.
Michael, I'll show you this here, but this costume we're wearing is actually a necromorph version of Isaac.
Yeah, you showed this to me.
Did I show this to you already? Oh man, I guess
plus
I
you've been
forgot.
playing as it for a while. Right?
Yeah, I figured I'd just show you once we have to like a real good light source.
Yeah, I think when I was here like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Did I show that to you?
Yeah.
Well, no, I didn't have the game yet. It wasn't out yet.
2 weeks.
So this is definitely the first time I've been able to show it to you.
Oh, another reason that this game is clearly a woke psyop is because they make Nicole old.
Okay.
Oh yeah, she looks older.
Yeah,
in this version.
She's just not
Dude,
bankable
apparently
anymore.
she's not fuckable anymore.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
dude, no, she in the original game she's supposed to be like 48, and it's just because the graphics were so primitive, they couldn't do wrinkles in the skin, so she looks like she's 25.
Oh,
So people said now that she looks the age she's actually supposed to have been the entire time, people are freaking out, going like, she's so fucking ugly now.
They're like, you took away her M&M high heels. What are you doing?
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, dude.
Did I tell you about what M&Ms are called now?
Manyas.
Yeah.
Manyas.
I know you told me and Ulysses during the last stream, but I don't know if Michael was here for that.
Well, I was in the chat the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you were.
that's
That's
right.
So I've heard about it. But it's
stupid.
It's
I don't think it's going to catch on.
It's good. Honestly, it is really good marketing because, I mean, they are getting people to talk about it, and that's clearly just they're trying to, like, generate some controversy.
The weirdest thing about M&M's is it's one of those products that needs no advertising. Like,
Yeah,
it's the
right.
type of product where everybody on Earth at some point will want some M&M's, and it's just basically, do I want M&M's right now? If so, I will go buy some, and if I don't, I won't buy some.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it does
It's really a
not.
question of how high are you.
Right.
Well, that's- yeah.
Or if you're for Halloween candy, it's just like you
Yeah.
don't need advertising for
Well,
a lot of those candies.
the sad thing about advertising is a lot of it is just you do. Like, people will see things and go like, oh, yeah, I remember that, and then they'll think about it. Like, it's just reminding people that shit
But
exists.
when they go to the convenience store, the grocery store, they see a bag of M&Ms and they feel like eating some M&Ms, they'll just grab some. They don't need a
They're not
commercial.
gonna think of the Manyas.
People aren't that complicated.
Yeah, I know.
Like you can literally like implant things in their brains, so they'll like see an
You
ad.
can put a commercial on it.
Yeah,
Just make
you
people
will
buy
see an
things.
ad for M&Ms, and the next time you're at the store and you're thinking about which candy you're going to buy, you'll like naturally be inclined to buy the M&Ms.
No, every time I
No, I'm
Well,
sorry, man.
maybe not
They've
you,
done-
but most
they've
people,
done-
yes.
They poured so much money into those studies for the psychology of marketing and stuff like that. Literally, like
Okay,
people
well, I
will
mean,
just-
Again, it might not work on you, but it
the
does
last-
work on most
Well,
people.
I mean,
last
I
candy they
consciously
saw
resist
advertised.
advertising.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
make an
yeah.
effort to
Well, I think all four of us do.
advertising.
I just avoided it.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
much
I think us as a group,
I
we do,
would
yeah.
totally find it worth it, like once I start working again, to get YouTube Premium or whatever, just to not watch ads.
I have
on
YouTube
anymore.
Premium, dude.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
I'll admit
Yeah.
sometimes I hate watch YouTube ads just because I find them all just deplorable
That is,
now.
it is kind of sad because I used to get such funny YouTube ads, but I don't
I
miss
get
them.
those like
I don't miss
gross
them.
guy like for hymns commercials or whatever they are.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
like this new like Viagra commercial where they just have the ugliest, nerdiest looking, freckliest fucking dudes. Just like, doesn't this make you hard? These guys, these ugly wimps and shit.
Damn, okay, wait, tell me more. Please elaborate.
That's the gist of it.
I don't know.
You need to tell me more.
What's the Manscaped?
Well,
Those ads too. I'm like
Manscaped
never
is
ending.
funnier than
You got the
fucking-
marker symbols in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that tells us we're hallucinating at this point in the game.
Like, I've
already.
seen so many stand-up comedians or whatever that are like promoting Manscaped
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
everybody
show,
is.
and
Even Double
right,
Toasted does
that's
it.
true, and they all have some.
Yeah, the
comedic-
Always Sunny
They're
podcast.
they're all like, hey, you want to keep your balls clean? You know, like, so they just always have
don't
some.
know. There's
But, yeah.
There's a YouTube channel that just does like historical videos, especially like about like different battles and the tactics and
Kings
stuff.
in general.
Yeah, Kings and Generals.
Yeah.
Yep. They occasionally are sponsored by Manscaped,
Yep.
and it's just funny to hear. It's funny to hear these videos. This is a guy with this like kind of posh British voice that narrates all their videos or whatever, and then he's just advertising like everybody on the team loves Manscaped. Like, and try the ball toner.
That was like right after he's like, hey, we're introducing this video about Cyrus the Great and his conquests in whatever fucking country.
Yeah.
But first, let us talk about our sponsor that we're so excited about. Manscaped. Are your balls hairy?
I remember one of the older Manscaped commercials where it would just be some dude like, have you ever done this? And be some guy just like nick his balls and just like the first 5 seconds just go like, oh yeah, scream in pain. And so like those always made me laugh.
Those are like those infomercials.
Yeah, has this ever happened to you?
Oh, just see bloody murder.
It's just been a blood spurt.
Falls in the room in his bed.
You just hear the thump of his dick hit the floor.
Keep the blood inside your penis, unlike this man.
Because somebody's like, honey, call the surgeon again.
Yeah. So those made me laugh, and yeah, I said you gotta see one of these for hymns or whatever ads at some point. I think it's called that. It disgusts me every time. If they just bring on like the most, like the biggest like cuts they could bring on this fucking commercial, and they're like, "Don't you want to be like these guys?" And it's like, "No, I don't."
What's the point of this advertisement?
It's to sell some kind of Viagra, but it's
What,
just
it's like, hey, do you want to look like this?
Are you having trouble getting hard to masturbate?
Yeah, and they say something like that. That's their tagline at the end of it. They're like, feeling hard or whatever. And it's like, no, you killed it for me by showing me this imagery.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Killed
know.
my boner. You murdered it, if anything.
Yeah, they should have called it Boner Murder, the product.
Boner murder.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for me, like, I'm just like, when I go into a store, I think like, do I have a craving for candy? No, then I'm not even going to look at candy. If I do, I'll look at the candy and run through all the like 25 different candies on there and think like, which one do I actually want?
Wait, hold on though, Michael. Yeah. I've also told you specifically about the story where I went with Ulysses to the store one time. Been in that store 30 times, nothing weird ever happened. I went in there with him once, and there was a guy arguing with the candy bars.
To be fair,
Just talking at
He
him.
literally was like, "You chocolate motherfucker!" Like, grabbing stuff off the shelf.
Yeah, psychologically, that's what I do with the candy. I'm
he was doing it out loud.
You cuss out the candy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, this is dude.
That's kind of why I always like them.
Look at that. Because we're playing the costume we have on is the Necromorph Isaac. He takes his entire head off instead of just his helmet.
Okay,
just
cool.
because of the costume we're wearing.
I like that. His face. It's like he doesn't have a helmet on the helmet.
Yeah, like you can see his tongue even. Like hanging out of the...
Oh, that's nasty.
Damn.
Oh, he's like Mike the Headless Chicken.
Yeah, this necromorph. No, Michael, seriously though, this necromorph that they're talking about, he was in this game for 30 seconds and got killed like this basically when we walked into the first room with monsters.
It's outrageous that extra that died and is now a zombie wasn't
You said
like
that canon.
Yeah, they made that made that character Asian, so that ruins the game. That guy that died 30 seconds in and then got blown out of an airlock.
Asian in the original one?
No, he was Asian in the
what I
original.
thought.
That's the thing, it's not even different.
To be honest, the most offensive thing about it to me would be that if it was just some white guy, and then they're like, let's have an Asian be killed instead in the first 30
Well,
seconds.
that would be offensive
more
in its own way, but he actually isn't even different.
He's just the same dude.
Yeah, he's exactly the same.
It's just people
I was going to say, his name was always Chen.
I think they didn't even say his name in the original, it's just that he was
that's
Asian
true.
and they didn't talk about him.
Yeah. I mean, my only problem with like ever race swapping or whatever is
When
that
it feels overly forced.
they make it a character and then it's just like they don't enrich the character at all and they make it some standard generic
Yeah, exactly.
static character.
Yeah.
Like then it was like, well, that was
Then what was the
itself.
point?
That
Yeah.
was offensive to me because he
Yeah.
didn't make a good character out of it.
Well, I'm also always
I
offended.
love that he's just not got a head.
I'm always offended when they swap the character out and then their entire personality is about being the race that they swapped out.
Velma.
Where it's like you're not making a character. The character is like entirely based on not being the character that it was before, and it's like
Right.
if
the
you
worst
don't
example
flesh
of that, just make that character into a stereotype of
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I don't know.
Like, that was another thing that video, the Harry Potter video said that, like, I commented on, was that she said, like, you know, the thing about the house elves being, you know,
I mean, that was portrayed as a bad thing,
It was portrayed as a bad thing, yeah. And
Did she say anything about the goblins?
no, no, I'm sorry, she did. She did mention, I mean, she mentioned every, you know, talking point you could, as, you know. But as far as that system, she was like, yeah, and, you know, by the end of the books, they haven't even, like, freed all the elves or whatever, and I would just, like, I wrote in my comment, it's like, it's not up to, like, I want to read what I fucking wrote word for word, because, because...
Well, I just also the idea that every story needs to end with it becoming a utopia.
Yeah, that
it's
would
just
be
a dumbass idea for
every story
storytelling.
terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
just like
you know what? Even if it wasn't
can't
bad, it would make
conclude-
every story the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Like-
what I mean, and eventually that would be bad because
Yeah,
you
no,
want
no,
some
absolutely.
creativity in your fucking story.
Well, especially if you're telling a story about like a couple people who are dealing with their own personal problems in this world or whatever. And then by the end of it, if you're pissed off that they haven't entirely transformed society into some kind of
that's
communist
basically what I
utopia,
said
it's
in
just
my-
fucking nonsense.
Oh yeah, let's see. This is the video.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And then.
Oh, by the way, the part 1 of Dead Space Remake is actually tied now with Octodad as the most popular video on YouTube we've ever done.
Apparently we're picking up traffic on YouTube a little bit.
Yeah, YouTube has been picking up. Twitch has been a little static, but YouTube has been picking up, so we'll see what happens.
Awesome.
But.
Nice.
But I talked about how like these books for me like were a kind of safe hold as a kid because I related to a lot of the themes.
Well, and you read them with your mom too, as like a little kid, right?
Well,
so it's
yeah,
like,
she read them.
there's
to me
a special
before bed,
connection
and then
there.
after she passed away, I was like, oh, I want to read these books to like kind of honor my mom, sort of and stuff. And then, but I said, but because all kids are different, not every book is going to work as
it's the brute.
Yeah, I remember these guys.
is going to work as a safe hole for every kid. Speaking as an English major, I hate the literary lenses that go, this book didn't solve systemic oppression. We haven't solved systemic oppression, and I'm sorry to say we never will. How the hell is a YA series meant to, you know?
Right. Absolutely. Now, anybody that's really complained, like, here's the thing. If somebody says, I don't want to play Hogwarts Legacy because I don't feel good about supporting J.K. Rowling.
I will admire their individuality.
Yes, I am so okay with that. If somebody tells me, like, I don't feel like playing it.
There's nothing wrong with boycotting something like that for that kind of reason. You know?
Well, that's the difference between boycotting and canceling, right? Is boycotting is, I don't want to, pay my money to this. Canceling is, I don't want anyone else to be allowed to give
on
their
these
money.
channels, they tell everybody to boycott it too, like it's their fucking prerogative.
Yeah.
And like I even said at the end of this, I was like, you can even buy the book still, because guess what? J.K. Rowling still has so much money that the measly $12 or whatever you add to the pile isn't actually going to do a goddamn when it comes to the influence she already has, you know?
Right, yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, the game even being more expensive, right? Being like $70 instead of.
No, I was talking
$12,
about like
right?
she would say not to buy the books anymore.
But that's what I'm saying is like
Go and buy
even the
book
game
in print.
is like a comparison for like the same reasoning will still not actually make a difference.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and she had no part of it. Right? I mean, she will get some
She'll
money.
get the
I
money,
assume,
but
because
she
it's
wasn't
their card,
creatively
but-
involved at all now.
Right.
I don't know. How are we supposed to have a society if, like, every
We live in a society.
every
We live in a society, Alex.
every disagreement that people have over, like, I mean,
The fact that
we can't strive for a society where everybody agrees on literally everything.
Right, and
No, that doesn't work.
That's a bad society.
that's very bad.
That's the Brave New World 1984 society.
But that's
Yeah.
what people want. Everybody wants an authoritarian state now.
I do think people want Brave New World. I don't think anybody would explicitly say they wanted 1984,
But they do want
people
Brave New
do
World.
actually want Brave New World.
Yeah.
Like,
As long as everyone's calling the shots.
yeah, right. As long as, but I mean, like, it's also just a lot of people are open to just agreeing with whatever whatever is pushed by society. Like, a lot of people are happy to just pick up whatever talking points are being pushed by whoever. Like,
Yeah, if you already agree with someone, you're just gonna listen to whatever they say and just regurgitate it.
That was a great adaptation they did. Was a Brave New World on Peacock.
Yeah, surprisingly, that Peacock service actually did a really good adaptation.
I should
of that
watch
book.
that because I do think Brave New World is the most prescient of all of the dystopian. Because I mean, it's so much of it is true right now.
Like their depiction of America, like I will have to say when I showed them the first episode, it is also so much what I want America to be like in our future.
Yeah, like the half-western savage land.
So much,
kinda.
and the fact that they call it the savage land, and it's
the wayside, man.
Yeah,
the wayside and our shit.
And but I mean, like the one thing where the messaging is like a little bit I mean, it works great in the drama of that story in the show, but it's so much about I just meant from real life. And that but you know, in the story they have like basically a drug for any negative emotion. They have a drug to counteract that. Right. And the one main character in it from America in this version of it is just this one person that has felt his emotions his whole life, and he basically almost starts infecting the society with emotions and as it goes on. But
which is also totally like what they do in what's that Christian Bale movie that's got
Equilibrium?
Equilibrium, yeah.
Like that.
They do that kind of same thing there.
But you know, in real life, I feel like everybody is feeding off the negative emotions, and we almost do need some kind of emotion suppressing thing in our
But I mean,
life,
but the thing is that everybody, like, I mean, the amount of people who are on psychotropic drugs right now is unbelievable.
I mean, that's where the mass shootings really come from.
No, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's where the mass shootings actually
like the number of people who are on antidepressants, stimulants, Ritalin, Adderall, just like, I mean, whatever it is, Xanax, just like the number of people.
The contact beam.
I remember that being completely useless.
In this game, it's like an arc gun, or like an arc. What's that called again?
What?
A rail gun.
Oh, rail gun.
Yeah. It's like a full-on rail gun in this game. All right, so of the 4 guns that we do have, Pulse Rifle's probably the weakest. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Even being in the new version, it's still
the flamethrower kind of blows it out of the water so far.
So let's replace the Pulse Rifle with the contact beam.
See how that works.
But yeah, I have a niece that like.
That's just a laser.
Antidepressants now, and I mean it's definitely exacerbating the. Plus, she's only like 15, so my sister doesn't think she should have been on these to begin with. This medication.
Well, they've been. I mean, like they do.
So she gets incorrectly.
Well, the pharmaceutical industry has been overprescribed.
Oh, for sure.
Decades.
Oh wow, that actually is extremely effective this time.
Damn.
Holy shit, that got sucked in the original game.
They might have overcorrected.
Yeah, they might have made it too good.
That was badass.
Well, whatever, we'll use it.
Yeah, we'll fucking use it, man. And you know what? If the game is almost too easy, I'm in a way okay with that, because that means that the impossible mode difficulty will be easy.
Yeah, you just have to get this gun, apparently.
Yeah, seriously, holy shit. That's like a straight up railgun. Ooh, shit.
But no, Michael, the young women especially are like the targets for all of those like mood stabilizers and stuff like that. Like it's an unreal number of teenage girls are prescribed antidepressants, mood stabilizers, shit like that. Like,
and it sucks because like a lot of what my family thinks is just kind of like her living situation. Like if she could just be in a different environment, then she wouldn't have probably
that's a classic. I mean, I'll tell you right now, my own mother, I know for a fact that is an issue with. But like the idea that just being in a different place is going to correct whatever's wrong is a huge symptom of mental illness, because they keep telling themselves, well, a different place is going to fix the problem. A different going somewhere else is going to fix the problem.
But then I also think they think, like, I can't go to a different place, so I have to alter something inside of me, or...
Well, maybe that too, but like specifically, I'll say this with my own mother. It is specifically that she constantly was like, "Well, if I just get to a different place, then I'll be happy.
I see what you're
just
saying,
go
yeah.
if I go somewhere else, then everything will be okay. It's not that my own mind is the problem; it's that the place I'm in is the problem."
Well,
and sometimes it's the other thing for another person, you know.
A lot of therapists too now treat sadness.
Holy
just
shit! I
being
love the
sad
fucking contact meme now.
as depression.
Yeah.
Even like and people will go in and be like, "I'm sad. My grandma died this week," and they're like, "All right, you need Xanax."
No,
and it's just like, no, it's okay to be sad because your grandma died.
Well,
And maybe you're just normally sad for a temporary amount of time, and that's
It's
fine.
normal for people to grieve over that. Maybe in a couple weeks.
In that way, the Brave New World adaptation was great because it did greatly explore that. Just
it totally did.
You know, well, the main character is like kind of grunge. I mean, he listens to a lot of grunge, like 90s sort of music and shit. And he's like totally.
Damn, dude. That gun is brutal.
Yeah, the contact meme kind of sucked in the original, and they might have almost made it too good.
Yeah, in both
now, but I mean, in a way, I'm okay with it.
It's just point, click, kill at this point.
Well, also, like, because the impossible mode, you can, if you die once, you have to beat the game without dying once. But if you beat that mode, you get a foam finger gun with infinite ammo. That is like one-hit kills.
That's awesome.
Doesn't Isaac go around making like, blam, bang?
Yeah, it doesn't make a gunshot noise. It literally, Isaac going, pew, 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 is like the sound effect of the gun.
That's funny.
It's amazing. That was in the original version of Dead Space 2, not the original of the first game. But in this remake, they kind of brought it over to the first game here.
A lot of Force lightning going on around here.
Yeah. There's any Sith around.
Franco Potente.
Darth Franco Potente.
I think that'll probably be the next thing that blows up on the pharmaceutical.
It'll blow up, yeah.
But we'll probably blow up on the pharmaceutical companies like the opioids at some point.
Right.
At some point, they'll just be like, okay, well, this antidepressant shit was out of control, and then you'll find out that like pharmaceutical reps were like bribing doctors to prescribe them, and
then the pharmaceutical companies be like, well, buy this new drug to make your depression problems go away.
Yeah.
We've got an update. Power diverted from Mining Administration Network. That's one.
Because I don't take any medicines, but I am amazed at some people I meet how many they're taking my age, and not for like physical ailments. Like, it's just like that.
Yeah.
It's like I remember my parents took me and did some tests for like ADD and stuff like that when I was a kid.
I think that's just what being a boy is.
Yeah, I think so too. But that was my thing where my parents were like, "Oh, we think we should go do this," and I was like, "All right, but I'm not taking any drugs. I'm not taking any medicine. I'll go do the test, find out whatever, but whatever happens, I'm not taking any I'm not taking any drugs that they recommend."
Plus, like, a lot of young people don't do anything for themselves as far as their attention span goes. I mean, it should be up to parents to force them to just sit their ass down and just kind kind of experience.
That take a long time.
Yeah.
Well, it's also I do think that we spend a lot of time just telling kids like sit down, shut up, and do this, and we never take the time to explain. Like really explain to kids, like, okay, well, this is why
happen. This matters.
Yeah, this is what will happen if you don't jump through these hoops or whatever. Right. And just like it sucks, but it's part of life. And if you want to have a good life, you got to jump through the hoops.
Well, like much more active parenting would be a huge help because there's that's what I'm saying. There's like so many entertainment sources that the parents like. Anytime I just need a break, this kid's just go watch TV.
Just drop the iPad in front of them. Yeah.
Which, granted, that was kind of how I was raised partially. Like, my dad would just sit me down in front of a TV for a lot of my childhood. Yeah. But I, for some reason, chose to watch programs like the History Channel before it was all just, like, not propaganda.
I used to watch a lot of History Channel when I was a kid.
Yeah,
man.
Once upon a time, there was real information.
When they destroyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I had to watch H2, and then they decided to destroy that channel too, and just make both of them reality TV channels.
Yeah, that shit didn't last long.
That's why I would love the greatest parody of the History Channel would just be if it became like fictionalized storytelling on Ancient Aliens.
Well, I mean, Ancient Aliens is on the History Channel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in their episodes, if they made that guy with the crazy hair like a character in an ongoing story,
sure,
they started
Like if it was like a serialized narrative.
Well, it was like the original sin of History Channel was putting Pawn Stars on there.
Yeah.
That was their first.
Right,
that was
right.
their first reality show.
Pawn Stars
but at
is
least
the
at least the Rick guy who owns the pawn shop actually it was like a history buff. So then they'd at least get these segments where somebody would bring in like a coin from the 1800s, and he'd be able to be like, oh yeah, they struck this at this mint or whatever. It was to like commemorate this event or something.
Right.
And it's like, all right, it's light on the history, but at least there's some history. And then then they started doing shows like Swamp People, where it's just a bunch of redneck shooting alligators, and you're like, dude, there's not even like, there's not even the semblance of history.
What about, like,
they're not even like throwaway lines about history anymore.
What about like 8 million shows where they're just trying to murder Bigfoot?
Or they had shows like Ice Road Truckers and stuff like that. And you're like, dude, like, I mean, you're not even trying to like have like vague references to history on the shows anymore.
There's another subtle hint that Isaac's already hallucinating. It isn't a reliable narrator already.
I've watched that channel before.
The unreliable narrator.
That should be a TV station.
But even before Pawn Stars,
you're watching the Unreliable Network.
Do you think
trusted me?
Has there been a show called Has there been a TV show called Softcore Pawn yet?
There was a show called Hardcore.
Yeah, there was Hardcore.
Was there really?
Yeah. So where Pawn Stars was like kind of like trying to class it up a little bit, and they'd only show you the bits where people were trying to sell something interesting for a little extra money.
Hardcore Pawn was local pawn store.
That was like
wait, actually check this out though.
What is that? So is that marker symbol of the Church of Unitology.
So this is some shit that Unitology didn't get brought up until chapter 10 of the original game, almost at the end.
And that's their version of Scientology.
Yeah, it's totally Scientology.
Plus Scientology.
Oh yeah.
Unitology's full of shit. Well, okay, so here we go. So this is a weird little room.
Like summoning circle?
It's a summoning circle, and you can actually, when you play the game on New Game Plus, it adds a whole thing where you could collect fragments of a marker, collect all of them, put them together, bring them back to this room, and then only on New Game Plus, but you can then get an alternate ending to the game if you collect all the marker fragments. Which actually leads even better into the second game than the original ending does. Let's see, Carrie Van Otken. If you've been living on Mars for the past 200 years, you may have missed the fastest growing religious movement in history. Unitology boasts a following of millions, counts powerful CEOs and officials in its ranks, claims $78 billion of stock in multi-global companies, owns two of Earth's largest financial institutions.
I'm glad you're not slurring in your drunk.
I'm trying hard. I'm trying.
I can read it.
You want to read it?
Sure.
All right.
From its beginning as a cult of personality, Unitology has become a respected, established religion. Most people know the basics. 200 years ago, Michael Altman, a respected geophysicist, blew the whistle on what he claimed to be the biggest cover-up ever instituted by Earth government. The discovery of an artifact or marker which proved beyond any doubt there is alien life in the universe. The government labeled Altman a kook, but his claims struck a chord with some, and his mysterious death soon afterwards fueled that interest along with civil unrest and demands for action. Unitologists believed the marker contained a code, the key to eternal life through rebirth and ascension to heaven. The kicker is you have to die first. They say the government is hiding the marker somewhere, keeping its secrets for themselves across all of human space. Unitologists praise Altman's martyrdom and await the day God comes to take them to their new life beyond death. It all sounds pretty harmless, but like any cult, there's a dark side.
C-Stage Alex passed that class.
There's way more.
Unitologists are ranked. I know, I'm really disappointed in myself for reading all this. Unitologists are ranked in the church. Nobody ever talks about it, but most of its critics believe there are at least 3 ranks above the average believer or initiate. With each new rank, more of the church's inner workings and research is revealed. Wow,
That's exactly Scientology.
More of the church.
Yeah, the more money you give, the more you learn.
More of the church's inner workings and research is revealed to a follower. And these ranks are achieved by one simple criteria: giving money and power to the church.
Yeah.
Think taking all your money is bad? The church also requires the members to donate their bodies after death. Why? What do they do with them? Nobody will say. And attempts to infiltrate the inner circle have failed. With their emphasis on transformation and rebirth, maybe we wouldn't like the answer even if they told us. One rumor that also refuses to die says the church is funding a secret shipbuilding program. Some claim to have seen the fleet. No documentary evidence has ever been supplied, but the claimants all say these mausoleum ships, despite their huge size.
Continued on page 9.
So it's interesting because when they made this first game, right, they didn't have the mythology necessarily of this universe super worked out all that well. And then when they made the second game, they kind of sat down in the process of the second one and really thought hard about, like, all right, how does this universe work? What's the purpose of all these elements? And then the third game kind of messed it up. But they've taken a lot of the mythology that's established in the second game, and then a little in the third game too, and then kind of retroactively refitted it into this remake so that the first game makes more sense in the context of the series.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I think that's really cool, honestly.
Yeah. So do you think if they did this one, they'll do the third game too?
My hope is that they do 2, and then that's not that different, but it's just like updated graphics mostly, and then they
change what you do.
Yeah, and then they do the third game, but that it's like almost a completely different game.
Yeah,
is my hope. I think we're on chapter 4 here too. I don't know how much longer we have of chapter 4, but chapter 5 is the first one with the invincible hunter enemy type. The one that's like the Mr. X of this game.
So he doesn't have a cool hat.
He does not have a cool hat.
Somebody should mod this to give him a hat.
Yeah.
I do like
Mr. X's
fedora.
hat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's just that room. Okay.
Also, there's a pretty decent, surprisingly, book about Michael Allman.
Yeah, there's a whole book about that founder of the religion. I actually have it on the shelf right behind us. But it's entirely about the actual religion and the founder and how everything came to happen. And
for a video game adaptation book, it's actually pretty well written.
Because most of them aren't good. Most things
of them outright suck.
Yeah, most things like that are bad.
And are there stand-ins?
Most video game derivative material is just kind of crap.
Not like the Injustice comic book is like the only thing I can think of.
That is one of the other few good ones, but the Dead Space, some of the spin-off material of Dead. There's a genuinely good animated movie called Dead Space Downfall that's on.
I kind of remember.
That's on Amazon Prime. If any of you guys are interested in watching it, it's about the security team of the ship, and it's like kind of during the breakdown of the. Kind of the colony and stuff. It's actually genuinely pretty good. They did a second one that tied into the second game called Dead Space Downfall.
Oh, that's the one I was thinking. Wait, what's the first one called?
I believe the first... Oh, no, sorry. The first one is Downfall. That's the good one. The second one is...
Hitler in the bunker, right?
Yes. The second one is Aftermath, and that one is actually pretty shitty. It's got really bad CG animation throughout, like, the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
But Downfall is the first one, and that's on Amazon Prime, and that's actually genuinely quite good.
Yeah, it's surprising that this game actually has decent adaptation material at all.
The Last of Us has been getting a lot of love.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we had a long conversation about that before we even got on the stream.
Oh, sure.
My thing is, I think no matter, even at its absolute best, it is inferior to the game, but it is a great thing to exist for people who would never play a video game.
But I hear it's causing heart attacks in China.
Yes. Actually, I wanted to bring that up on the stream. There is a Chinese citizen who has actually filed the paperwork to sue HBO because The Last of Us Episode 3 was so gay it gave him a heart attack.
I did hear that a lot of people on the right are upset that Nick Offerman played a gay character because they're saying that they made Ron Swanson
They
gay.
claimed him for.
Yeah.
They're like, that's our man.
Yeah.
Which makes him sound pretty gay.
He wasn't like that. Ron Swanson wasn't a character, and that Nick Offerman is Ron Swanson, and that so he can't play any other roles or do anything that Ron Swanson wouldn't do.
Actors aren't actors; they're just people in movies.
Yeah, no, they're just clearly the characters.
They're the
they play.
fictional
They
characters.
don't exist otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, remember that kid who was in Game of Thrones and he like killed all those people and he was like,
he was
right. Yeah, he was clearly
maybe
killing
the
all those
worst
people.
monarch, 12-year-old
But she's a
monarch.
massive rapist they employed for that show.
Yeah. Kill those chicks with a crossbow. I mean, we all know that's filmed.
Yeah, then they let him play the Flash.
Dude, fuck Ezra Miller. Dude, if James, like, I am super into James Gunn's new universe, but if he doesn't get rid of Ezra Miller, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm kind of done with that. At least with the Flash, anything Flash, if they fucking do that.
Well, but it sounds like even James Gunn is like, well, we'll see what happens, you know? Like, even he is, like, acting like it's, you know, not a big
Like,
deal.
I understand if the movie is good, but you still have to divorce yourself.
Even then, dude, even if the movie's genuinely good, it's still fucked up that this guy who's raping little kids and fucking...
I do wonder...
No, he's
if they're
fucking doing it, man.
I do wonder if they're just trying to get past the movie and trying to have as little controversy as possible with the
They've been
movie.
trying to do that for 3 years.
I know, but so people that will actually go see it and they can try to mitigate the backlash, and then hopefully,
Then bring it all
then
to
hopefully they're just like, yeah, that guy's an asshole. But after they made the money,
I would hope that's the strategy.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're not planning on keeping him as the Flash.
But for legal purposes, we have to say allegedly.
Yeah.
But the whole thing they keep doing is like, oh well, he's getting help now, and
That's
you
not
know,
good enough. He's being jailed.
no, it's not good enough. He should be in fucking
Pay
prison.
for his crimes for a bit. Then,
Shit.
You know.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna head out, guys.
All right, man.
It was good hanging.
Yep.
Hi,
Good
man.
seeing you, Michael.
Hope you have a good night.
Yep. You guys have a good
Get some
night.
good food.
Yeah.
You said food, right? That's what you're
I'm
doing?
gonna go eat some steak.
Fuck yeah. All right, and then, well, Alex heads out. I'm going to use the bathroom quick, and then I will also be right back.
All right. It's just you and me, Ulysses, giving commentary now.
Oh, great. Oh, you can take the controls and just go nuts.
I look like too tall compared to you because you're taller than me, and it's weird. This
Yeah. Well, if the dog was standing up, it would be taller than both of us.
That's true. I like when you were that beer bottle. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty nice. I wouldn't mind being a beer bottle more often.
We can make it like a little mask for you to wear.
Yeah, I can just tape it to my face. I like that.
Yeah.
I can just get drunk off the fumes.
Oh yeah. Alright, well don't let Sage pass out on stream.
Well, we're not going to let him get more cats either.
Definitely don't.
I know he tends to just wake up with more cats in his arms, but
I think he sleepwalks and breaks into people's houses.
Yeah, just talk with their animals.
They're like, well, don't take my TV and just walk the cat. Alright, have a good night.
I don't know what else is going on. I will say that per our drug discussion, there are people who genuinely do need
fentanyl.
Not necessarily fentanyl, but certain drugs to help with mental conditions. It's just that they're not as common as the pharmaceutical industry
would lead you to believe.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't know until you've tried all the drugs.
Like fentanyl, apparently.
Fentanyl is my favorite.
Just kidding. How does it compare to crocodile?
Yeah,
not as good.
Mid
Doesn't give you any scales.
No, I always wanted to become that crocodile from Once Upon a Time or whatever.
I thought you were going to say what's the name of that character from Batman? Who's like the
Killer Croc.
Yeah,
that Goomba from fucking Super Mario Bros. Or the movie.
That would be pretty terrifying. Is that what Chris Pratt's going to be?
The Goomba?
Yeah.
No, he's actually Mario.
Oh, I think he would have been better as the Goomba.
He's just he's like, yes, I'm me, Chris Pratt. I mean, Mario. But, I mean, to be honest, that Mario movie looks pretty good.
I think we're going to see his belly button.
Why?
Well, there was the controversy a while ago where it was shirtless Mario and like, what was it? Did he have like a belly button but no nipples, or maybe it was no nipples but no belly button?
Was it one of those weird belly buttons that like sticks outside the stomach?
It was really weird looking, and like the internet lost its mind over it. We'll have to ask Sage about this when he comes back. He's sort of a connoisseur of like Mario
and belly buttons.
Images, yeah. But,
were they like super turned on by this belly button, or like
some
what?
probably were, but mostly it was people like, "Wow, this looks really weird," and it has kind of an uncanny valley effect because he's still like cartoon Mario,
uncanny
right?
Valley
So you give him realistic like body features of like a cartoon.
Yeah, no, Mario
weird.
doesn't need that. Wait, well, so why did he have that again?
I don't know, because he was shirtless. He was on, I don't know, spring break or something.
Jesus,
he's at some sort of beach thing, right? And so they had to have him shirtless, and somebody was like, "Well, what do we draw him look like?" I don't know. Give him nipples.
Wow, interesting. Oh, okay, wait a minute. I can picture. It's not a weird thing, but I'm aware of imagery of Mario with his shirt off for some reason in one of the games.
Yeah,
he is running around shirtless.
Yeah,
so you're saying they added like nipples.
This is like promotional artwork for the game, I think.
Okay, where it was like ultra realistic. Mario was a real person.
No, he still looked like cartoon Mario. It's just that he had like, features you wouldn't expect in a cartoon creature.
A functioning mammary gland.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
It's like if Bugs Bunny had nipples. It would be strange.
He'd have 6 of them.
Yeah, he was.
That's what would make it really weird. Yeah. So Mario, I believe in this movie, is fully clothed.
Thankfully.
Yeah, I think the subtitle is Mario Fully Clothed.
To differentiate from those other Mario movies.
Yeah. Nudist Colony Mario.
I don't think those would do very well. Well, actually, I don't know these days.
Yeah, who knows?
People are into weird shit now.
Absolutely. Rule 34 or whatever it
is. Yeah, I think that is the one.
Yeah, 34. I don't know my internet rules. I didn't know there were rules in the lawless land of the internet before that. But besides that, you can't swear on YouTube.
Apparently, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
You can't do a lot of things. You can't depict any kind of like violence within 7 seconds of the start of the video.
Uh-huh.
So like, you can't do like Double Toasted was talking about. They can't do like reviews of horror movies and show like scenes.
Oh yeah, you're talking about how Double Toasted can't even like show shit from movies anymore without getting in trouble themselves.
Yeah,
dude, it's such bullshit.
I know a couple other channels that are like. They're like discussions of like history stuff and like crime and things like that.
That's why I prefer Twitch over YouTube ultimately, because
and they can't talk about like violent acts like murder or whatever, or banditry within like a certain amount of time at the start of the video. Otherwise, they get demonetized.
Yeah, I mean it's a really hurtful word.
Banditry.
Which word?
Right. Yeah.
Also, a lot of people who do like game streaming or reviews.
What about this?
Really hard. Yeah.
What about how violent this is?
Right.
Callisto Protocol was actually the thing that first started getting like it was like blowing up because of that, right? Because there are a lot of prominent video game channels on YouTube that were doing like reviews or gameplay footage of Callisto Protocol, which is a violent game.
Yeah.
And YouTube was like throwing a hissy fit and like demonetizing them over it.
Jesus. I mean, so
it's bad, man. It's actually really bad.
I feel like YouTube is on its way out.
So, like,
that's why I'm really glad we use Twitch instead of YouTube for our streams.
Yeah, it will.
This video is probably demonetized by now on YouTube.
Well, we're not monetized on YouTube at all. This is just like the backup.
Well, they can always just straight up like ban you.
Well, that's also true.
There's also there's like a big surge of phony copyright claims.
Fucking goddamn it.
Like a lot of reviewers and stuff are getting bombarded both by like companies and just by also individual bad actors who are trying to take their videos down because they didn't say enough positive things about their fucking video game.
Right. Yeah. That's also super obnoxious.
And it used to be kind of a joke. Like there was a really like infamous example of that, or I think it was Digital Homicide, which is this shithole little company that nobody cares about to make trash games. And they got really mad at this YouTuber, Jim Sterling, and were like harassing him. And then eventually, like, he put this whole thing on YouTube of like this phone call he had with them, where they were
Jim
like,
Sterling's a big guy in the game industry in general.
And like they were trying to like threaten him with lawsuits because like he didn't like their game, and then they were trying to accuse him of like of like criminal acts and like promoting eugenics because he once made a joke about creating an evil race of carrot people. Like they legitimately
Oh my
played that
god,
clip.
they considered that eugenics.
They actually played that clip of him saying that. They're like, "This is proof that we know you've done some evil stuff."
Your offense to the carrot people infuriated us all.
It was great because it was him just laughing in their faces, pretty much.
That's hilarious. Damn. Wow.
Also, I can't believe the flamethrower is actually kind of useful in this version.
I know, it's actually a good flamethrower. Like, how many games have those?
Yeah, look at how quickly he killed that thing. It's like melting the flesh off of them.
It does what flamethrowers do.
Because flamethrowers suck in most games, and the flamethrower sucked in the original Dead Space, like for sure. It was
one of the worst weapons.
Yeah, it was like maybe the worst weapon.
I think the
game.
contact beam was worse. Or maybe
But that actually is pretty good in this too.
Yeah. No, they fixed the worst weapons.
So that's one of the biggest things about this remake that like totally fixes the original game is that
your arsenal actually feels, like you have a lot of choices
and useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like that was a thing in the original game is sometimes it felt like the basic like the plasma gunner was so much better than all the other weapons that it was like why even use anything else.
Thinking about it, that's probably why they gave you the Ripper so early in this too.
Yeah.
Because all the other they want to make all the other guns feel epic when you get them later, so they give you like one of the best ones early.
That's fair, yeah. That seems like it makes a lot of sense.
Projectile baby behind that thing.
Goddamn babies, man. That's what they are, dude. They're projectile fucking babies. Yeah, we got the fat ones now.
Yeah, what else am I going to call them? Like octopus babies? I don't know.
Well, the Octodead stream was where we were going to say that, if anywhere.
Yeah, what was the deal with those kids anyway? Were they adopted?
No, I think they were really their kids. I think he fucked that woman, and she still didn't realize.
Well, how did they come out?
Still bred a human child.
Yeah. Like, that's why I feel like they had to have been adopted.
Yeah.
And then the alt fire for the flamethrowers, you can actually create a wall of fire.
I like that.
That like helps like deter enemies from. I mean, granted, this is kind of a big enemy type, so it doesn't quite work the same way. But
I bet you did a lot of damage to him with it.
But in that Dead Space, like L. Ron Hubbard book, Michael Altman one or whatever, like, is there a is there a stand-in for Dianetics and all that stuff?
I think that is the book.
Yeah, pretty much.
The book is Dianetics.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
So Michael Altman himself is not the same kind of person that L. Ron Hubbard is.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in the mythology of the
evil.
games, he's like this crazy leader, but in the actual, if you actually go and read that book...
He was actually like, well, spoilers for people who want to read a book based on the Dead Space.
From 15 years ago.
But basically, he was actually like the good guy who was trying to expose this organization. Like, he was like a legit scientist who was like worried about what they were doing. And,
he discovered the original marker on Earth.
Okay.
And they like had him killed and then turned him into like this prophet figure.
Yeah, and they lied about him being this martyr so that they could use him as a figurehead to spread the church's beliefs.
So L. Ron Hubbard, if he was sympathetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
and
kind
also
of
not
the
fat
idea.
and didn't have a boat.
Yeah, didn't have a boat. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Alright. Yeah, I also genuinely find this game to be, like, more difficult than the original.
Well, because the enemies will move a bit faster. I don't think the brutes do, but I think the
brutes seem the same.
But the lesser enemies definitely seem a lot more obnoxious.
Yeah, they seem quicker.
And the spitters are really annoying.
Which one?
Spitters.
Oh, yeah, the tick. Yeah, those are... Because that's in the totally now. And then in the... I wonder what they'll do with the pukers in the second game.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, Michael, I'm trying to remember how much of Dead Space like we actually played together, or how much you played yourself.
You played pretty much all of the first two games in front of me.
The first
at some
two?
Point.
Okay.
So you didn't see the third much?
I think I saw you play the third one as well, but I mean...
It didn't stand out as much.
Good, so I just didn't...
Yeah, it's not as
Could
good.
have zoned it out.
2 is the best one.
I liked the look of suddenly being like on kind of a snow planet or whatever.
That part was cool.
Like
yeah, there are parts of 3 that really work. It's just that
cool
the
with
execution
It was the gameplay that was the problem.
Yeah.
Gameplay and then also the story.
Certain story elements like that fucking
love triangle that they had between.
It was basically on Hoth. Like this.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's cool because like the game is one of the
sleeping inside of like the guts of it, like a necromorph.
Probably not as appealing as the.
But also, like really clearly at the beginning of the story, like one of the obvious inspirations for just the first game is The Thing. Right, it's like it's Event Horizon, Alien, and The Thing. That's what this game is totally based on.
So it makes sense to have like an Arctic base.
Yeah, it totally makes sense to go that direction eventually.
That's true.
And of course, it has a healthy dose of Resident Evil injected into it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, there's that break room again. I mean, Grant, the Resident Evil 2 remake made some really amazing innovations that then also got brought over to this.
Oh wow!
Because the original Dead Space iterated on Resident Evil 4, and then the Resident Evil 2 remake iterated on Dead Space, and then the Dead Space remake is now iterated on Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, they're feeding off of each other.
Yeah, they feed off each other and make each other better. So Dead Space and Resident Evil have like a direct correlation between each other of like consistently making each other better by innovating and improving gameplay concepts.
Yeah, they're sort of
across
this franchises. Genre. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, like in the original Dead Space, right, every time you beat a chapter of the story, you would get to the train, it would take you to the next area, and then you would just play the next area. Whereas in this remake, the train is a fast travel system, and you can actually walk between all the areas. You don't have to use the train this time. In this remake, you can actually go and you can backtrack to the old areas you've already finished, which in the original you couldn't do, which makes it more like Resident Evil with all the backtracking. So they've taken like already what was a really great formula, but they've added the like things that Resident Evil does better kind of into this almost.
Right.
Yeah, it consistently these series make each other better, and I'm really grateful for it. Really, really good shit between them. That's why I like Dead Space. That's the thing is about Dead Space coming out in January, Resident Evil 4 coming out in March, System Shock supposedly coming out in March, and then Silent Hill 2 remake coming out supposedly at least sometime in this year too. It's like it's some of the a bunch of the best horror games. Yeah, it's like your greatest hits of horror games all getting remakes at the same time. That's really, really fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So those little fuckers get awesome.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
For a hug.
Health too.
Dead Space is also kind of what like Doom 3 should have done if it was going to go for a horror route.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Doom 3 tries to be horror, even though Doom is like an action game and it doesn't really work. Yeah. But like Dead Space is way closer to what Doom 3 wanted to be than what it actually was.
Right.
Because Doom 3 kind of fails at both being a horror game and it being an action game.
Well, you can only have your gun or your flashlight out at one time.
Yeah.
You can't have both. So it makes this really it's like that's not scary, it's more just annoying.
It's clunky.
Why don't they just put the flashlight on the gun?
No,
exactly. Look at this. Yeah. The flashlight's on the gun.
Enough people complained about it that when they made like a sort of a remake of Doom 3, they actually just
they did like a remaster.
It's only on one of the guns though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it does. It's still not on all of them.
Plus, I mean, like, that game's, like, monster design just felt really uninspired for the most part.
Yeah, they're all just, like, gray blobs.
Yeah.
Make us whole again. That wasn't said at any point in the original first game.
Oh,
that's new. Because ultimately, the life cycle of the Necromorphs is to create a brethren moon, right? These, like, moon-sized eventually, they use enough flesh to create a necromorph that's the size of a moon. They call them the brethren moons, and those are, like, the final stage of their evolution.
That was such on the third game.
That's only in the third game. And they hinted at it in the second game, but the first game didn't have that idea thought out at all. So that is something that is very much new to this remake. I love this game, and I really, really, really love this remake.
Oh yeah.
It's Jacob. I came to the bridge looking for you.
Plus, Isaac didn't talk in the original.
Nope.
I'm not sticking
Right? He only got a voice actor in the second game. In the first game,
Points of the first game is that Isaac himself wasn't really a character. He was
he was a silent protagonist you were meant to kind of fill yourself into. Yeah, but then in the second game, they decided to give him a voice and flesh him out into a unique character.
And that game was better for it.
Yeah, 2 was way better because of that. And so then in the remake, they they've taken, and it's the same actor that played him in the second and third games that they've like hired to play him in this remake. So it's actually the same dude, which I'm really happy about. Gunnar Wright is his name, and then of course Isaac Clarke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you know where that comes from.
It's the sci-fi authors Arthur Clarke and
Arthur C. Clarke and Isaac Asimov. So the writers of The Foundation and Sherlock Holmes mixed together as a character. Yeah. I fucking love that.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Which one was Arthur C. Clarke then again?
He was a sci-fi author.
What did he do again?
Contemporary of Foundation guy. What the hell was his name again?
Asimov.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asimov was Isaac Asimov with that guy, but then what was Arthur C. Clarke again?
He was also, again, a sci-fi author. I can't remember his work specifically off that.
He didn't do Dream of...
No, that was Philip K. Dick.
Well, whatever.
Do androids dream of Dick?
Yeah, do androids dream of electric dick?
Whatever.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I can't remember Arthur C. Clarke's books off the top of my head. I've read some of them. I don't.
But he is another sci-fi
Yeah, I'll
author.
look it up because I kind of can't remember either.
But it is specifically, it's Isaac Asimov. And you know what? This is another adapt because we were talking about how Peacock has that actually, considering how like not that great a service Peacock is.
The book 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh shit, that's him.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Well, so I was thinking about that though because Isaac Asimov wrote The Foundation, and we were just talking about Brave New World being this like surprisingly good sci-fi adaptation that's on Peacock. But I don't know if either of you guys knew, but on Apple TV, which I don't have access to yet, but there actually is an adaptation of The Foundation that I've heard is actually really good.
Okay.
I feel like I've heard about that too.
I saw like a trailer for that once, I think.
Yeah, I remember thinking like the trailer was alright, and then I remember hearing the show was like actually like really good. Like way better than
So far they've only adapted the first book, I assume?
I think so, but I
feel like it's going to be a bit harder to adapt the later book.
Well, it's kind of like Dune, right? It's like the rest of it gets so weird that
it
it's
also
like...
gets a lot more complex and a lot more like... It gets kind of space opera-y.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not the 3,000 year narration of a worm god, though, right?
No, it's not that weird, no. It's normal humans doing normal human stuff.
I also love how burning them, it burns, because you know what, the flamethrower, the reason that it's good in this remake versus the original is because of the peeling system.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Because it peels all the flesh off, or it burns all the flesh off, and that way...
That's a very good update to the mechanics.
Yeah, that's a really good update.
Well, I've really only heard of 2001 and The Cradle.
What about 2010? Didn't he write that too?
Well, anything with like Odyssey is a subtitle,
sequel,
basically, he wrote. So there's like quite a few of those.
No auto targeting.
Yeah, so we need to get.
We're about to do that turret sequence.
Ooh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, because Michael.
I want to say that about a turret sequence.
Right. No, Michael. Here's another thing that's making a big difference between the original Dead Space and this remake is that in the original game you get to this turret sequence and you just sit in like a big gun and you shoot at these asteroids coming at the ship, and it's one of the worst parts of the original game. It's one of the few moments in that original game where you're like, oh, this is a drag, this isn't fun, this isn't working, the mechanics just are not entertaining, and this is a sequence that they've completely changed in this remake for the better, from what I've heard at least.
It's like Iron Man kind of stuff.
Shit.
We've been talking about how we think they're probably going to do an Iron Man game.
No. They've officially announced they're doing an Iron Man game.
It's definitely going to pull inspiration from them.
Well, so consider this studio. It's called EA Motive. Their game before this was Star Wars Squadrons, which was specifically a flight simulator Star Wars games. It was specifically and exclusively about ship combat.
Yeah, it's like an old style like Wing Commander type.
Yeah. That like old school. It's like your entire game is you piloting a ship. It's not about anything else.
Right.
So they made a flight simulator, and then the next game they made was about an engineer in an armored suit. And the third game they're going to make is an Iron Man game. Right, combine the mechanics of that Star Wars game and then Dead Space together, and you have Iron Man.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's funny though. It's just because so many people associate, the face of Robert Downey Jr. with the character.
Well, that's why we're wondering, is that going to be what he looks like in this game?
I will say
Right,
in that
because-
Midnight Suns game, the strategy one that came out recently, that game went with a more classic comic book version of Tony Stark, and it worked.
Oh, I'm sure, but it's just like if they want the game to be like
Super
because
successful.
super huge. Yeah, like anytime they do Robert Downey Jr. like an
It never really
impersonator,
works, though.
like impression, that's what the voice
Yeah.
actors always do, and it's just
Yeah, it
always like,
never
yeah,
really
this
works.
sucks.
I have not seen like Midnight Sun, but I've heard that the character models look like a bit like Uncanny Valley-ish.
They're a little simple, but it's in a way where it's like it still services the gameplay pretty well.
The most scathing one I heard was, of course, zero punctuation because he always
Well, yeah.
reported that shit. But he said that Tony Stark looked like a haunted action figure of Freddie Mercury.
Right.
That's funny.
I mean, I won't even say that that's not totally true because he made good points, even though.
Someone stop him! This is Second Officer Sheik. I need security here right now. No one's coming. White.
Also, considering Dead Space remake, Silent Hill 2 remake, and then actually getting an Alan Wake 2 sequel, finally, after all these years, it is the subgenre of missing wife horror, all getting sequels and remakes at the same time.
Yeah, it's my favorite genre.
Same favorite subgenre.
Well, my wife is missing.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, most of the gaming audience is male, and you want to have them associate themselves with the character and also provide an emotional
Well, I
hook.
think it's also more coincidence than anything, though. I mean, I do think that what you're saying is true. It's just that Dead Space, Silent Hill 2, and Alan Wake all came out several years apart from each other originally. It's just that they all happen to be getting remakes and sequels coincidentally at the same time, so that the pattern of there being this missing wife character in every one of these games, I think it's more of a coincidence than anything.
Everybody loves when their
There you
wives
go.
go missing.
Their wives, you said?
Everybody loves when their wives.
What did you say for the first time?
Wives.
Oh, you did say okay.
Actually, it was Evil
I thought you
Within.
said parts. I was like,
Evil
is
Within,
their
it was
dick
the,
missing?
it
Or?
was the wife who goes missing or the daughter who goes missing? I forget.
Evil Within 1, it's neither. Evil Within 2, it's the daughter.
Okay.
Resident Evil 4, it's the president's daughter.
No, Evil Within, I said.
No, I know. I'm just saying. The Resident Evil 4 is also getting a new game this year, and in that game, it's the president's daughter. So, like, in this original, we would have literally just already sat in a chair and been shooting at these asteroids with a big turret. And instead, this is a spacewalk. Yeah, we're like...
You're using Ripper ammo, though.
Oh, it's a different button, that's why.
There you go.
So in the original, yeah, you were just like...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you were firing at these asteroids from inside a ship on, like, a big turret.
Right.
And it was actually kind of hard, too, because the controls just weren't very good.
It was very clunky.
See, like, look at that. Complete. We already targeted. So now that one's auto-targeting.
Damn.
Shit. Oh, it's unpleasant.
There's gotta be there's gonna be an oxygen thing around here somewhere, right? Yeah, there it is.
I remember one of those asteroid sequences was legitimately like way harder than it needed to be too.
Yeah, I think it was the first one. I think because the one is the asteroids, and then the second one is like a gigantic necromorph that's like outside of the.
Wasn't there also one that was like space junk?
I think there was just the two.
I thought there were more.
Maybe I could be remembering wrong, but see, look at that. Now that's auto-targeting the rest of them for us. Like we would just have to destroy a few asteroids with each one, and then it'll, calibrate. Versus the original where it was just an annoying mini game. Yeah, this is way better. This is so much better. Yeah, like I do have to say, like I love the original Dead Space, but this is a remake that genuinely improves on the original. Yeah, look at that. That's done.
ADS recalibrated.
It's hitting at you, I think. Necromorphs are around here.
Yes.
The ADS cannons are online shipwide. Thank God. Engaging autopilot. Get yourself inside, Isaac. I think I figured out our next move.
Hello, cat.
And then we're going back in already. Like that's so much better than the original. Oh,
shit.
It's the little baby. The little baby got me. Fucking baby bitch.
Yeah, the kids are getting violent younger and younger.
Yeah, that's true.
I know, right? Well, and also, you know what? It's interesting because in this first game, the those little baby-looking creatures are they're a product of the cloning program. So, because this is like a deep space mining ship, there's this whole cloning program that they use to grow like humans without actual minds, so that they can use them for body part replacement, right? Like and stuff. So, like, they're not even real people. Those little baby ones you see, they're actually products of these like cloning facilities getting infected. But then in the second game, which takes place on like an actual city in space,
yeah, they're like actual children.
Yeah, those are actual children that have been turned into fucked up necromorphs.
So there's a scene where you see like a mother trying to who's like probably half crazy, trying to like get one of the little zombie kids to like remember her or whatever, and just like lights her face up.
Yeah, and then she blows them both up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the original reason there was a civil war on Krypton. Was the clone
children?
No, the clone uprising part because they were.
That is similar.
Yeah. They didn't really go into that in any of the movies.
No.
Targeting system.
So I mean, they had Batman killing people with guns, though.
Yeah, that was pretty accurate.
Yeah. So what Batman does all the time.
I just loved when he put that dynamite on that guy.
Yeah. That Batman was so cool, though.
Yeah, this is so much better, dude. This is so much better than the original version of this. I hated that fucking turret section. Like, that was one of those parts where it's like, I really like that game, but I would every time I think about playing it again, I dread that specific section. Like, I literally have to go in and be like, man, I want to play it again, but do I really want to play that part?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Where now this has completely fixed it.
Huh.
Yeah, these babies are messing her up.
I fucking hate these goddamn babies. Get over here, you goddamn baby bitch.
I think this might be one of the only games where you can kill babies.
Well, like I said, at least in this one, they're like clone babies and not real babies. And
Well,
the
they're
second,
also not babies anymore. They're zombie monsters.
well, that's also true. But in the second one, they're at least they started as like real babies.
Yes.
In the Dante's Inferno video game, I think you killed aborted babies, and
That's actually true. You did. That was another kind of weird out there case.
Which game was that again?
Dante's Inferno.
the game action adaptation they made of the epic.
Oh, I remember
The
that.
God of War ripoff.
Cross on his chest.
Yeah, like had nothing to do with
Yeah, it was
the
just called
Divine
that
Comedy
because-
poem, but yeah.
It was like there were little parts that kind of connected, but they didn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, that game was weird.
It was very weird. Well, it's a God of War. It was like straight up just a God of War ripoff.
Yeah. But they were like, instead of being a poet, what if Dante could like cut heads off?
Yeah, what
or
if he was a Templar Knight?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, those.
It had a cool Super Bowl commercial, that game. It had like a cool 30-second.
Dude, that ad is actually really good.
It's a badass ad.
It's
like
a really
it
good
makes you want to like play.
It makes the game way more interesting than it actually is.
Yeah. And what's his fucking name played the devil in the game? It was
That I don't remember.
the dude that played like Draco Malfoy's father in the fucking Harry Potter movies.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah,
Jason Isaacs?
Jason Isaacs, yeah.
I love Jason Isaacs, dude. He's so
the
fucking
voice,
cool.
Elegant.
He's also Satan in the Castlevania Lords of Shadow, like, kind of reboot games.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what I'm thinking of. I got that wrong. Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, I don't remember who did it. I mean, it's entirely possible. It could have been Jason Isaacs there, too.
I remember one of the final
For all I
bosses
know.
in Dante's Inferno is just like a big, kind of generic dragon-type devil, so I think that, which is the artist depiction people have a lot of the time. Well, it's kind of what
Did either of you guys, it's a slight aside, but did either of you guys ever watch the entire Castlevania anime show?
I watched the first 2 seasons for sure.
Season 3 had a little bit of a dip in quality.
I had a slightly hard time
getting through 3.
Yeah, I made progress on it. but I just-
3 is a little weaker, but 4 is really good.
Yeah, and it's not even that 3's bad. It just doesn't compel me along.
Medical
It's-
is not a sanctuary. Nicole, you were lying.
Yeah, I'm surprised people are saying this is a psyop making gay. She seems like she's pretty milky.
Well, I mean, she looks like a 48-year-old would look. That's the problem. Is like this game's so woke. She looks like she's fucking 80 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, she looks like she's 48.
Which
she's
is
supposed
not
to be
woke
48.
against old people, by the way.
But they aged
No.
her up stage.
But they didn't because she was supposed to be 48 in the original game. But the graphics just weren't good enough to actually express that.
And Isaac's not supposed to be a spring chicken either.
I guess if there was one inconsistency, I would say that Isaac maybe looks almost too young.
Well, maybe he's like the dude who runs France.
He's just into old
Benjamin
ladies.
Button.
Benjamin Button.
Oh,
Oh god. Oh god, are these the pieces for the fucking Twitcher? Yeah.
I remember
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Twitcher fucking section.
that was your favorite movie for a long time, Sid. Was The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Dude, I fucking hate that movie.
Yeah, we should watch that.
Yeah, we should.
No.
I never did get to see it, Sage. You gotta
You
show
didn't
it.
see it? Well,
No, you gotta show it to me.
fucking
Yeah, you gotta watch it with us.
Yeah.
You gotta like describe the plot to us.
Yeah, isn't there like a
Glorious detail.
3-hour cut you could show us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
oh god, no.
like the butthole cut?
the button butthole.
Yeah.
No.
The
I
Benjamin
hate it.
butthole cut.
Maybe there's like
Benjamin
a,
butthole.
maybe there's like a director's commentary where they got some crazy lady talking about how the floors look.
Right? No,
Of
dude.
Benjamin Button or of Dead Space?
Why not both?
Oh shit.
Accept the transmission for medical.
Someone's
I could imagine an old lady doing the commentary for Benjamin Button and being like, but I'm not getting any older either.
The floors are sexy as they always were. Please join us. That's new.
I want to mop those floors with my pussy. And I was-
So we're going back to medical because of this recording of Nicole that just popped up. That's different. That's not in the original.
yeah.
Oh, but you know what? I think when we go back to medical, that's when you see the hunter for the first
Oh
time.
yeah, those are fun.
I think. Well, there's only the one in the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Don't forget about
It's
the
the
little guy.
invincible one,
Yeah,
right?
the
It's
one that you eventually blow up an airlock with jet engine. Rocket engine or whatever. Yeah, these things are too tough.
But I will say the flamethrower is really good at dealing with those little ones crawling around.
It is because it's got that spread. You don't have to aim.
Damn, the flamethrower is good in this one, dude.
What?
I'm amazed by that. The flamethrower sucks in the original game. I'm kind of blown away.
It did not suck in Dead Space Extraction though.
Well, no, in that game I felt bad for the necromorphs. I legitimately was
Especially
like,
because you
sorry,
could co-op
guys.
that. You were one person like dual wielding flamethrowers.
Yeah, because if you play the two-player mode, you're technically still only one character. You're just dual wielding, and each person
Right.
controls one
Was that like an
gun.
on-rails Dead
It
Space?
is.
Yeah,
It's actually
that's
really
why
good, too.
I remember that.
It's like genuinely really good.
I still love that. Like we're just mowing down necromorphs with the flamethrowers, and one of them like jumps right in front of you, and it just looks at you like, "Oh shit, I made it terrible."
Yeah, it's like, oh god, I didn't mean to.
He's like, I should have stayed home and done fentanyl.
Is that where necromorphs come from?
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
The necromorph life cycle, I will say, it doesn't have a lot of like super consistent rules to it.
It's just kind of whatever.
Well, there's the infector creature, which is like, ooh, hey, ooh, level 3 suit.
Nice.
Here we go. Fuck yeah.
We gotta do another power armor fashion show, I suspect.
Yep, it's always a fashion show. Granted, well, the costume we have on is gonna keep it the way it is, but
Is it? It didn't last time.
oh well, it'll change, but we have to change it back.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Is that badass armor, man? Should we keep the infected suit, or should you want to play with the regular for a little bit?
It's up to you.
We can always sit you back at the next store, right?
I mean, it is iconic armor. I'm always cool.
It is iconic, man. So fucking cool. Isaac Clarke is one of my favorite like horror protagonists like of all time.
Yeah.
And I think adding of the voice back into this first game genuinely like makes a big difference to that as well. Like I really do feel like they've made him feel even that much. It's the same kind of everyman like regular worker feel that you get from like the original Alien movie, where it's like they're just fucking truckers. Like you really managed to capture that kind of same sense of tone and vibe.
Truckers and an android filled with semen.
Right. Well, there's the combat.
That was the pitch Ridley Scott had in the studio at the time.
There's the combat.
The combat.
I mean, there's a combat sometimes, man. Just sometimes you got to deal with the combat.
I don't know why they decided to make him bleed white liquid. That didn't seem.
I don't know where that originally came from, but it's probably just to differentiate that he wasn't human, right? It was to say
a different color that's not as indicative of something else.
Well, it's like if H.R. Geiger did all the Alien. He was
sexualized movie.
He was like,
so.
if there's something foul going on here, there should be some semen too.
Yeah.
There should be some...
There's gotta be semen in this.
I'm just glad we didn't have to see like the alien like eating him, because that would have been a little gross.
Yeah, that's true. Although it just ripped Bishop in half in the second one.
Yeah.
Although that's less gross than the first movie.
I didn't think Bishop was that big a deal.
Well, Bishop is also like a hero too, so like.
Well, it didn't make his like innards look as gross,
That's true.
What? You said the chemical lab? I can barely hear you.
It's still sad what they did with the plot in those movies, and then the third one, where they're just
Oh
like,
my
all the
God,
characters
dude.
are like, they just died. Yeah,
The way
whatever.
that series went is, I mean, look at Prometheus, man.
Yeah.
Then there was whatever the hell Resurrection was.
Right.
Yeah, that one's not good.
Yeah,
That's not
pretty
good at
much
all.
just like Aliens, and Alien Covenant was okay.
I don't know. I still don't know if I buy that.
Well, it basically took, it followed Prometheus, and
that's the problem. That's the big problem.
But it like dropped a lot of the like more, you could say, ambitious things Ridley Scott was trying to do, and then
Or you could say stupid.
Yeah, and they were like, all right, let's just kind of play it safe as a more traditional Alien film.
I still haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen Covenant either, so I can't judge it.
And they do where the character, or at least the performance that Michael Fassbender has, is interesting as David in Prometheus. I
will agree with that. He was the best part of that movie.
But the character is actually the performance is interesting in Prometheus, but then I think the character is actually interesting in Covenant. So he's at least got like a story arc that.
I mean, that's good. Like I said, I really do have to actually watch it.
The rest of the human crew that gets killed, they're just kind of there to get killed, so it's like whatever.
I wish they had done more with Kenny Powers.
Oh, did you see that? The fucking, even our like mission marker that popped up on the screen there is like, look, this is the broadcast. Even that was like weird and distorted.
Huh.
So like they're really kind of driving home the fact that Isaac is
already crazy,
already kind of hallucinating and a little crazy.
That did come a little bit out of nowhere before.
Yeah. They're building up to it that way better. Yeah, medical just locked behind me. He's like, not.
Like a Time Lord?
Oh, that's also cool. So Dr. Kind is like the main human villain in the first game.
How about you unlock these doors and I'll find her myself?
And I don't know if you do, Michael, if you remember that actor, but he played the captain in the first J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie that then leaves Chris Hemsworth in charge of the ship. And he gets killed by the Romulans in like the first 5 minutes. He's that like Indian actor.
Yeah,
he was also the leader of the terrorists in the first Iron Man, and he was... Yeah, that guy is the voice of this doctor in this remake. And he seems like a really great casting choice for this doctor. See. We still got 20 minutes. See what we can get through. I do want to have more party games for us to all four play together,
That would
though,
be
because
fun.
that has been a really fun.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
I enjoyed playing the Russian one, even if it was weird.
It got too weird.
It was the end of the game. It was the very end that got.
Well, I'd say when we went to that club is when things started.
Yeah, no, the club was awful, but I enjoyed playing it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, the club was close to the end, at least. It was like the
That's
second to last level.
It just went on too long.
Ah, goddamn. Fucking baby. Man,
Yeah, Alien Covenant just has that weird scene where Michael Fassbender
Fucks
kind
himself.
of... Yeah, he has like a gay scene of
Himself.
gay tension with himself. Yeah.
That's odd.
Yeah.
I feel like we should
How
watch
does
it.
it even
in a
work?
group.
Was like, were there two of him?
Oh,
Or is
Yeah, because he's
I'm
an
sorry,
android, so
there's
like another model.
the same,
Okay, I thought maybe like he was just like staring pensively at his own hand or something.
He's like my true wife or whatever.
Right at his hand?
Yeah.
His hand is his true wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just looking down. He's like, "You will never abandon me." And then at the end of the movie, his like hand like pulls itself off and like runs away.
Yeah.
Scorpion bitch.
Or just how common those things were.
Yeah, I feel like they're more common. And like I said, I actually do feel like the second game is... Oh, there's those wall man giving babies. He's birthing babies.
Well, you said that you think so those old like scam like email headlines you get, you know, where it was just nonsense strung together by like some AI that didn't know like how to do basic English.
Right.
You know, like basket case police idiot something. You know?
There was a chemical spill in Pussy Orphanage, was my favorite.
Yeah, so wall man like birth center or whatever it was you said.
Wall man birth center. Ah, shit.
More ammo?
I'm just... Yeah, that's the gun. That's the only problem with using multiple guns is that it splits up the ammo that you're being given between all the guns you have.
Yeah.
Like if you never pick up another gun, you only get ammo for the guns you have.
I remember you could shell like two of your weapons, and so I'd walk around just the plasma cutter and the ripper and would get more ammo for them.
Yeah, you can kind of trick the game into giving you more ammo for the one you actually want to use.
Clearance confirmed.
Ah! Hi.
You always got to announce yourself when you're coming into a room, say. It's rude.
Well,
Don't
he
be an
didn't.
asshole. Dude.
This fucker didn't.
I think he was already
Yeah,
in the room.
that's
You were burglarizing
Was he?
It was
his
that
place,
zombie's room, man.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, he was coming in here and just rifling through his belongings. What was he supposed to do, you know?
The stand your ground room.
Yeah! This spaceship is under the jurisdiction of Florida. Explains all the crazies.
Yeah,
That
it does,
is
actually.
fair.
That's what the necromorphs actually are.
They're just
Floridians.
Florida men.
Yeah.
But also,
Florida man becomes spacefaring zombie.
now, Michael, I know you, Ulysses, I know you knew about this already, but Michael, I don't know if you know. If you beat this game on the hardest difficulty, you get like a sports stadium foam finger gun
Yeah,
you said this
with
earlier.
infinite ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't remember if I.
That's why we know we've been drinking too much.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, this was something you weren't around for earlier, but do you think it's like a little bit pretentious that the DC movies are calling it like Chapter 1 or whatever?
I don't think so. I think they have to force themselves to be differentiated somehow.
But it is just a synonym for phase.
It is, but I
It's now
feel.
more literary, so therefore it's more intellectual.
I mean, I think it's them. I think it's James Gunn trying his best to make it sound different, even if there is no way to make it different.
Right.
Like the only way in which it would be a fitting descriptor is if like the storytelling is going to be really tight, like the planning of these movies and how
Maybe
they
it will.
work together.
I mean,
if that's
I don't know. It's not impossible.
Right.
One can hope.
But it's just you shouldn't like I don't know, make the bullseye you're aiming for so small, you know. And that
Well, maybe they should, because they've been aiming too big for so long. Maybe they need to make them small.
Aiming at all.
They weren't aiming, yeah.
I think they just got drunk and blindfolded themselves and just tossed a knife in any direction.
Yeah.
And then somehow it came back and hit themselves.
Or, yeah.
I don't know, I disagree. I think the fact that they wanted to do the death of Superman in their second movie is to them aiming way too high.
Well,
I think aiming small is exactly what they need.
I think you're right in that they made it too broad. Like, they made the entire board...
Not broad, but big.
They made the entire board the bullseye and still missed, you know?
Well, that's absolutely true. Well, that's true. But I really think it's a product of them aiming too high, and then I think it needs to be small. They need to build things up first.
No, what I mean is, like, making it too challenging to make it work as this intricate, interwoven story. Like, I would rather them just...
But isn't the best way to make an interwoven story work is to start small and make it feel natural?
Well, no, that's kind of what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, make it easy on themselves and give themselves...
I feel like they are.
Well, I hope so, but then that, to me, defeats the purpose of using, like, the adjective or using the noun chapter, is because it's like...
I don't know if I see the point there, to be honest.
What I'm saying is, like, if they were gonna try to make it super intricate and, like, right off the bat,
right,
then that would warrant chapter to me. But what I assume they're gonna do is just kind of do it one film at a time, try to make them as good as they can individually, and basically just do the Marvel model, you know. I mean, so I honestly wouldn't have cared if they even called it Phase 1.
But even Marvel was calling it Phase 1 when they were doing that initial simple plan.
Yeah, sure. So they could just call it Phase 1. I wouldn't care.
So I guess I just don't see how that makes it sound like it's complicated.
The DCEU never even did phases. They didn't even
they didn't.
No, they started
plan.
Whatever.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
After Avengers had already like blown everybody out of their seats, you know.
Yeah. So that they have a plan is great. It's just the word choice specifically of chapter suggests to me a much higher level of
someone else want to read this?
Yeah, more cerebral sort of. Yeah. Oh yeah, I can read this. Yeah. The diagnoses are stacking up as fast as I can. What does that say? File them. Sleep paralysis, hallucinations, nightmares, paranoia. I'm getting patients from all over the ship. No underlying causes showing up in environmental analysis, foodstuffs, or radiation levels. I admit I'm at a loss. Mercer says he and Kine are working on a hypothesis, so in the meantime I'm treating the symptoms. I'm seeing some improvement with sensory deprivation treatments in our zero-G therapy pods. Sounds like fun. But the sheer number of patients we're managing bothers me. Those systems are old, and they need an overhaul. With so many pods active, I worry what might happen if there's a serious power surge down there. But nothing else seems to help. I suppose the odds are low enough. I'd rather take a small calculated risk than have dozens of miners and engineers impaired around heavy machinery.
I mean, that's bad, man.
I think they're
I don't know. I guess I feel like I don't know if I feel the same way about the way they're labeling it. I mean, that just feels. Like
ultimately, I don't.
The same.
I don't care, but
kind
like
of thing.
It's just
really.
I don't know. That was just something we were all saying earlier. Was that it just seems to me a bit pretentious of a word to use. Because, I mean, they could have literally called it anything. They could have called
they called it acts. Like a
Act 1, whatever.
But does that actually make a difference?
That's possibly, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, does that actually make a difference? Just the basic label of what the first part is called? Like, does that really change anything to you? Like, does that really make it seem different?
I mean,
just that label?
Again, to me...
I think you could argue that it represents a tone... You know, that there is trying to be portrayed of something that is more intellectual and more, like, you know, complex in the way that a novel is.
Yeah.
Which, you know, sometimes that fits for, like, this kind of stuff, but...
Well, when it's all stuff based off books, I mean, I feel like calling up Chapter 1 seems reasonable.
Yeah, but comic books don't, like, just...
Well, they have issues,
traditionally have chapters.
Well, they have issues instead of chapters, but I feel like no one
but...
outside of comic book readers is going to know what that means. If you call it issue
What
1.
about volumes?
Yeah, volume would have been better to me. I would have taken volume 1 or whatever as like...
Sure, but again, does that really change it, though? It's, I mean, it is just a simple label.
Just a word, but I'm just saying, like, versus that's the way they're distinguishing it. Is already, to me, not like super thoroughly thought out. Like Volume 1 would have been.
I think that
better
was
to
knocked
me.
it out of the park.
Yeah, because that's very comic booky to me. You know, to
Sure,
define
I mean, I agree with that. It is
shit like
terminology from the books themselves, and I do totally agree that is more clever and that is more fitting.
And I get that they're just doing a phase or whatever, but it's like they didn't even have to be. Like, I mean, if they had just called it Phase 1, you know, or whatever, I'm sure some people...
But then it would have felt too much the
Some
same
people
as
would have
Marvel.
been calling that dick riding or whatever.
But I think it would have been, right, if you used the exact same terminology?
Dick ride too.
Yeah, rolling the hair.
But wouldn't it have been if it was the exact same terminology?
Well, that's what he was just saying.
Yeah.
Well, but you're saying some people would have said that, but I think I would have been some of those some people.
I also think, like, most people, aren't going to care. So I'm just saying.
That's also fair point.
Doing the super scrutinizing thing that I'm doing.
This is an extremely minor quibble.
Yeah.
Well, side mission.
Oh, shit. Look, smack her hologram ass.
Smack that hologram ass. We never got to find out what Nicole was like in bed.
That's too bad.
Well, maybe they can take some inspiration from God of War and add some.
Oh, shit.
Is that a Minotaur?
No, that's the hunter.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, that's the hunter. Oh, I don't like that.
Hunter, ex-hunter, or whatever.
No, dude. No, we're already to this fucking part of the game.
Yeah, but it's fun time. That thing's going to be with you for quite a while. You're going to be best friends. Have so many memorable times.
Oh, God.
Honestly, I think the hardest part of the game was, like, when he follows you around in those rooms where there's full of other enemies.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Make us whole again.
Oh, shit. And you got shot.
By a stasis.
Yep.
See, this is another thing where you just watched this happen from a window in the original. This guy didn't come into the room with you.
This is a lot more menacing.
Yeah, it is.
Nearest and dearest. We were colleagues, you know. Dr. Chalice. Mercy.
Wow.
Looks like a nail gun.
Yeah, I thought he was going to shoot some nails into your arm for a second.
It might be a nail gun. They have those.
Oh, that's what they do.
Convergence.
Convergence is installed. She's meddling.
They never mentioned convergence in the first game.
But even if I was to ask, I suspect you're not the talkative type.
Well, that's clearly a reference to him not talking in the original.
And I haven't fully explored
They do that a lot
the
in
cause
games.
of death
Yeah.
as that missing factor.
Shit. Oh, I'm so nervous.
He's going to unleash that thing on us.
Yeah, he's about to fucking pull the hunter out on us for the first time.
I think we're on the right track there. Try and relax, Mr. Clark. Convergence is so close.
He is going full Bond villain on us.
Yeah. Well, I like that the whole concept of convergence, which is ultimately leading to the creation of the moon,
Yes.
that's something that's only brought up in 2 and 3. That's never in the first games. Yet again, this is an example of how they have retroactively gone back and taken the mythology the other games established. Oh, fuck.
Here's your new playmate. I just hope they don't go too overboard with, like, you know, spilling the beans on the things that happen in 2 and 3, you know, with that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they'll do that, obviously, but...
I don't, from what I've heard, I don't think so, but...
Okay.
More exposition.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
it's
don't
in
want to ruin
small
the
ways.
impact of, like, you know, what happened.
Right.
3, I guess I don't care about, because they just make that in the game.
Right. Well, and also it's like with the way that they've set it up, it's like you don't know what convergence is if you haven't played the other games.
Not yet. I just hope they don't explain it to you or something.
Right? Yeah. No. Hopefully not. Fucking goddamn hunter. It's the most stressful enemy in the game, man.
It's always on you.
And
Right
he's
in your
invincible, he just grows his shit back every time you kill him.
Oh, yeah.
He's literally invincible.
He's also a dick.
Yes, he is a dick.
It's the only
You
part.
got some friends on you.
Oh, shit.
Can you piggyback ride?
Fuck. He's like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2.
I think he's worse than that, to be honest.
I think he's not, because his sequences are still constricted to certain parts of the game, whereas X literally is just in the world as soon as he shows up, and then he can show up anywhere after that. Whereas the Hunter here is like restricted to certain areas, like he can't show up anywhere.
I feel that he's harder to escape than X is.
I mean, that's fair, but I do think that ultimately,
Mr. X is definitely a more like persistent villain. For
yeah,
sure.
he's more ever present.
Yeah.
But I think the Hunter might be more immediately imposing. I just think that the Hunter is more like...
He's used more sparsely.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there he is again. Oh, wow.
That's a regular one. I can deal with the regular one.
Oh, don't worry, there'll be plenty more of that.
Ah!
Oh, shit. No.
Get the fuck out of here, Jason.
He just wanted to give you a little smooch.
Well, I don't want his smooch. I want a necro smooch.
Necro smooch.
Oh, that's him.
Yep. The big boy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I'm fucking out of so much ammo right now.
Still got some plasma cutter ammo.
Yeah, he's a tough motherfucker.
Yeah, this is definitely an easy part of the game.
Oh, god damn it.
This is just on medium.
Yeah, it's just normal difficulty. Which makes me dread impossible mode that much more. I remember when this game came out, I mean, I was 13, I think.
Yeah.
When this game originally dropped. And I remember this gave me, like, serious anxiety. This particular villain and this character. Like, I got, like, legit anxiety from having to deal with this Hunter.
Yeah, video games fucked you up, Dave. If only you hadn't played video games as a child, you'd be a better person.
You'd have less cats.
Cats?
Yeah, is that why you have so many cats? You use them as like a coping mechanism for all your video games?
No.
Absolutely, he does.
I forgot you could do that.
Fucking eat that shit. Whatever that is. Like, eat your friend's body.
Oh, he might be into that. Oh, they're making you eat shit now.
Ah.
Oh, but I'd rather eat the oral shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I remember Ripper was my bread and butter in the sequences.
Yeah, that fucking Hunter is hard, dude. It's been a while since I played the first game, too. Fuck.
He is a bitch.
He is a bitch. I'm trying to think between all the stalker type enemies in horror games, what's the worst? Because you got the Hunter from Dead Space. You've got Mr. X in Resident Evil 2, Nemesis in 3. You've got Jack Marguerite, Jack and Marguerite in Resident Evil 7. You've got Lady Double D in...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think she's the worst one.
No, I don't think so
easier than the
either,
others,
but
for
she's
sure.
the hottest one.
Yeah, she's
easy on the eyes.
Yeah, yeah. She's the only one you'd want to get with.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, you don't even have to stalk me, bitch.
I don't know, maybe there are chicks that into Mr. X or something, but... At least before he transforms into like a big idiot. Similarly for Lady Double D, she also does that.
Oh, wow. That really does fucking rip through those things.
Yeah, you don't have more ammo.
I know, right? God damn it, I'm stuck behind a desk.
The Necromorph gave you some chances there. I think he might have just confused him.
He's like, wow, I should have killed this guy.
It's like, wow, I don't have to kill this guy. The death will do it for me. Well, what other ones are there in game?
I know there's more. I know there
I mean,
is.
it was a very common enemy type for a while, but...
Well, Resident Evil is the one that really popularized the invincible enemy that you have to, like, just run away from.
Oh, Carnage, when he possessed Dr. Octopus at the end of the N64 Spider-Man game. That was a boss.
That's true.
Yeah. So, Dr. Octopus.
Oh my god, I am stuck in another fucking room. Jesus Christ, I can't move.
It's funny because this game is so much darker that, like, I noticed you still had health left, but the game looked like it was fading to black already, so I was like, wow, I was just going to cut out with them just, like, beating you up.
That actually would be pretty amazing. Jesus Christ, alright.
Oh, you'll get it this time, dude.
Yeah, we believe in you.
I mean, I don't, but I think you'll get there.
We claim to believe in you.
Alright, let's save the contact beam for the hunter.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work on him. Too bad there's not a store nearby for you to stock up with.
Yeah, well, fuck your goddamn hunter, man.
I forget, is this time before all the doors work? Like, you have to kill a certain number of enemies?
I think you just have to get in, like, enough rooms away from him.
I don't remember if, like, the path out of here is even open until you do a certain thing.
Well, that room is empty.
I know there are a couple of rooms like this, dealing with him, where you could just sort of hustle your ass out of here. But there are ones where you had to, like, kill X number of enemies to make progress happen.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the hell, like, the... Go.
Oh, that might have been the way out.
God damn it, health, too.
He can never come through the elevator, can he?
No, elevators are safe spaces in the first game, although in the second
Not
game...
in the second game.
Yeah, they fuck with you in the second one.
Takes place in an elevator.
Yeah, they totally, like, jump enemies into the elevator just because you expect it to not happen there.
Oh, sure.
In the second one.
That's cool.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, I think so, too. Hopefully you're not just going back upstairs to where he's waiting by the door.
Right, well, shit, did I do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, no, I think you are through as well.
But I forgot to say earlier, like, after watching that season trailer again, yeah, that Noah Penn Bradley guy, I could see him as a good Reed Richards.
I think he'd be great,
you know, the fact that they, like, I forgot he was, like, dressed up like a professor and shit in the season, and, you know, yeah, and I think he could lend an interesting kind of arrogance to Reed Richards.
But do you think him and Sue Storm are gonna, like, turn invisible and, like, fuck in front of the other two?
Yes, if they know what they're doing, that will be their first priority.
Because that happens in that cartoon, man. That happened in that kids show.
Well, I mean, and basically the two other Fantastic Four movies with Tim Story ones or whatever, they would, you know, just all be about Invisible Woman being in, you know, sexual situations.
Yeah, wasn't there at least one of those movies where, like, she's invisible and, like, naked because she has to be in order to be invisible?
It
and she, like, becomes visible in front of the crowd or something?
Yep. For some reason, it happens in the first and in the second one.
Okay. Oh, it's so good. Yeah. They had to use the gag twice, huh?
Yeah.
It was a good gag.
Stupid. She didn't know how to keep her clothes on. You know?
Well, I thought she had to do it in order to be invisible. Like, her suit wasn't
in the comics, she can make anything invisible. So
but they didn't do that in the movie.
No.
No, because they didn't know what the fuck they were doing.
Because they started with the idea of we have to have her naked at some point. How do we make that happen?
Yeah, I don't even remember why she took off her clothes in the first movie. She was just like...
Because she's hot, we're all supposed to like
I know. What am I even talking about? Dr. Kanye is like...
That's Dr. Kind, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got so addicted to porn, it turned him into a necromorph.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
He's like, I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm a lyrical genius.
It's the greatest necromorph of all time.
Yeah, Hitler was a great dude, but he didn't have necromorph, so that's the one thing he did wrong.
All right, I think we're good. We just gotta get to the next save spot, and I think we'll end at the next.
That's basically how I know the next Fantastic Four will actually be good. If there's no
line gun,
nice.
If there's no nothing sexual done with Invisible Woman whatsoever in the next.
Yeah, I
movie.
hope we can be a little more progressive about that.
Yeah. I mean, just write like a goddamn character.
Exactly.
Like,
not just a sex object.
Yeah.
I mean, I still do wish it could have been John Krasinski and Emily Blunt, but that's definitely not happening now.
But once you pointed out that one dude, I do think he.
Yeah, he'd be great.
Kanye.
Kanye.
Kanye is Mr. Fantastic.
The greatest lyrical genius of all time.
I'd watch that.
Cam is Invisible Woman. Pete Davidson is the Human Torch.
Who's gonna be the thing?
Yeah, let me think about that. God. Bruce Jenner's thing when it got chopped off. I'm trying to keep it in the family at this point, so.
Well, it's definitely not family friendly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you make a Fantastic Four about the Kardashians being the Fantastic Four. It's not going to be the family.
That is true.
Oh, what the hell?
Man, you died fast on that
God,
one. Like, you had full
damn.
health.
That was one of those baby making guys.
Yeah.
He fucking spits out all those babies.
Yeah, that's how it happens in real life. Man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You'll need some sensitivity training so you keep talking about this shit.
You think so?
Yeah, you can keep killing these baby men, you know.
You know what? Actually, based on where we are,
You gonna say
I think
something about?
this is a room with the save point. I think we got to stop here. Yeah, for time's sake. No, we can buy line gun racks from the store. Here's another interesting thing that wasn't in the original. We can actually buy like individual little upgrade packs for guns that will add like specific like kinds of upgrades to each gun.
Yeah.
So that's new. That's totally different.
Hydrazine. Sounds tasty.
I don't know. Kim Kardashian's ass is so sizable that it itself could be a thing.
No, what it is Kim Kardashian's ass is the magic ball from Space Jam that steals all the men's talent that touch it.
It steals my talent. I know.
No, it steals. No, dude. Look at Kanye West, dude. It stole all of his talent
It's gonna steal all
because he touched that ass.
talent.
No, dude. It's literally that. It's literally that fucking magic basketball from Space Jam, dude.
So her, like,
five guys
like
put their hand on that ass and it sucks their talent out.
Right?
Suck you an ass. Like
Yeah, like the rest of her isn't, but just the ass.
Yeah, a suck you ass.
Yeah.
A suck you ass. That's what she is, dude. She's a suck you ass.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we probably should stop the stream before we get canceled for these dumb jokes.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, come on. If we're canceled, we'd already be canceled.
Yeah.
That's true. You can be canceled for anything these days.
Well, I mean, based on like how many things that we've said on here that would be fucked up.
Oh yeah,
all of them.
We've said a lot of bad things on here, man. None of us. If this Twitch channel ever blows up in a way, and we get like semi well known, none of us will ever be hireable for an office job ever again after that.
I don't want to go in that office. Anyway.
I know. I mean, I don't either.
It's like, thank you for banning me from your workplace.
Alright, we're gonna do someone else that is also playing Dead Space.
Sick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you gotta stick together with all your Dead Space homies.
Yeah.
Your Deadites.
I think that's legally okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's copyrighted.
No.
That probably is, actually.
Alright, and then we will be back on Saturday. Or maybe sooner, depending on Tim and Corbin's show. But Saturday at the latest with
Gonna do more Elden Ring.
Yeah. We finally made it past the first level.
Good job, guys.
10 streams in.
Well.
It took us to fucking do that first level. Oh man. Yeah, it was brutal. But alright, we are out.
See ya.
Have a good night, everybody.
Yep, see ya.
Can you open the... Yes, please. Okay,
Come
there
on,
we go.
Sage. Making us look bad.
Stop being so drunk.
I'm not drunk. The button doesn't want to do the thing.